Well, Greg apparently had a better source.
Do you guys think Shane Beamer's a smoker?
No, I don't think Beamer smokes.
He's got that Jay Wright, that skin look that he looks like a smoker.
Do you think Jay Wright smokes?
Yeah, he looks like it.
I don't think Shane smokes. Is there a chance he just got a bad, drugstore tan last night?
Possibly.
I know a guy.
Because he's darker than you.
I do think.
Does he put his golf scores in again? I mean, Jesus. That guy's been on vacation. Does beach time count? And to defend Hugh one more time here before the show's over with.
He'll be on tomorrow.
Is it any different than him playing 11 rounds of golf in June as opposed to a coach spending 3 weeks at his beach house?
Which one's recruiting well?
Well, you're not following that. Like
3 weeks,
people don't know what you're doing. I mean, the problem is Hugh has gone public.
I don't have to log my beach days in a public app. Like day one, beach.
Yeah, our buddy Matt Mosley, he said he's listening to us from Seaside, by the way. Shout out, Mose.
I love Mose.
What did he say about Hugh today?
He said, hey, guys.
Why the hell is Freeze reporting so many rounds? Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, just get to this story.
I guess.
Wish he was here. But I mean, Shane Beamer, unless he's recruiting outside, that guy has spent a lot in some office lighting. He's been out in the sun some this summer.
Well, again, it's less about where you are and what you're doing and more about what you're not doing. And the vision is Hugh Freeze not winning enough games and is not recruiting well. That guy over there won enough games last year, and I guess he's recruiting well.
Yep. So Hugh sits down with us tomorrow. If I hand him a dozen golf balls, Pro V1s,
I'm sure he's I've got plenty in my locker. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I lost all these on the course yesterday.
Well, let's just ask him. Do you want to play around after media day today?
I got a tea time cross town.
Can you get him on at what is it? East
Sugarloaf? East Lake?
East Lake.
Yes, I could. In fact,
could you get him at Sugarloaf?
He could get on East Lake easier than I could get him on Sugarloaf. Yes.
Is there a place called Sugarloaf?
Yeah, there is TPC Sugarloaf just north of town. Now stop right there. I can't get him on Augusta. If that's your next question. He's got a far better shot at that.
Yeah, he does. Tell us one more time about our friends at Baptist Health. We're so thankful of them for sponsoring our coverage of SEC Media Days all week long.
Yeah, our exclusive sponsor, Baptist Health System. And in partnership with Orlando Health, Baptist Health is celebrating a new day in healthcare. Through this partnership, they will advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of individuals and communities that we live with and that they serve. Baptist Health, Central Alabama's only private, not-for-profit, faith-based healthcare system dedicated to providing high-end accessible care for the communities of Central Alabama. And Baptist Health, our exclusive sponsor this year of SEC Media Days here in Atlanta.
Live show is over with, but continuous coverage of SEC Media Day, thanks to Baptist Health, continues throughout the evening. These guys are about to go do some man-on-the-street stuff, talk a little life and football with them. Emily Grace and Scott and Taylor continue to pump things out on our social media platforms, all at Next Round Live, all over wherever you get the content. And remember to set your automatic downloads in places like Apple and Spotify so you don't miss a thing all football season long. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Day 2 of SEC Media Days from the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, all the fine folks. Taylor and Emily Grace working the floor down here. Scott Forrester behind the camera and the lights here and doing a lot of the social media posting you're seeing with EG. And, of course, Tim and Tyler back in our studios in Birmingham. We appreciate you all so much for being with us today. Our coverage, as always, brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. It's Auburn Day. We'll hear from Hugh Freeze and quarterback Jackson Arnold. Hugh Freeze, in fact, in this opening segment. And then we'll talk a little Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas football today. Ryan, tell us about Baptist Health as we get going today, the title exclusive sponsor of this shindig here in Atlanta.
That's right. They are the exclusive sponsor of our SEC Media Days coverage. Baptist Health System of Care includes 5 acute care hospitals, more than 1,700 licensed beds, and a freestanding emergency room, and has been for more than a century. Baptist Health, an integral part of healthcare's landscape in Alabama. In partnership with Orlando Health, Baptist Health celebrating a new day in healthcare, and they are bringing you exclusively the coverage of the SEC Media Days here in Atlanta.
All right, so before we get to Hugh Freeze, we had a chance off camera to talk to him a little bit earlier today. Talked to the Auburn AD as well. Coach Cohen from back in his days at Mississippi State. I say coach there because that's important in I think the relationship between Hugh Freeze and his athletic director. That's another coach there. You can see that on our social media platform at Next Round Live this morning, already up and rolling for you. I joked with Hugh as soon as he sat down. I was like, you like the early tea time. And he's very open and honest and in a good mood today about the heat he's caught this offseason about golf.
Well, look, I don't think you can hide from it. If it wasn't golf, what would the narrative be? I mean, Hugh's got to win either way, but
yeah,
would there be something else?
And probably so, because again, it's all about winning. I mean, when you win, the narratives disappear. When you don't win, the narratives are still there. So, I mean, I think it's all about winning. And if he were winning, people wouldn't pick apart things he was doing. And the recruiting, probably would still be questionable, but it wouldn't be as big a focus as it is because you're winning.
Now, they had a big ambush event here, a little alumni fundraiser awareness type Auburn event. Auburn, big over here in Atlanta. So the athletic director, John Cohen, was here for that as well. But I don't know how many ADs are going to be walking around with their quarterback, with their head football coach over here.
That's boy, I would think next to none.
Yeah. That's a unique sight, and I think they're showing a unified front there.
You don't see a lot of ADs here. You're right. When I ran into John Cohen this morning, I was a bit surprised. I was like, I can't remember the last time I've seen an AD at this event.
But, it does make sense. Like if you've got I would think Atlanta's a big hub for any of these programs. And if you're going to be in town and you're going to be bringing the head coach and you're going to have the resources, why not bring the AD along and have some kind of booster club meeting?
Yeah, they did. The ambush event, and Coach Cohen making his rounds this morning, talking to the media and talking up Auburn athletics and their plan, which you'll hear a lot of in our conversation with Hugh Freeze in just a second after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City, our buddy over there. He and Andrea running this locally owned company for over 20 years, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Let him get on top of that ladder, get onto your roof, and give you a free no-cost roof inspection by calling the number you see on your screen there, and that would allow you to get that free no-cost roof inspection. Also, you can look him up online as well. Storm Restoration Roofing has a website, or maybe the easiest way, you can go to Facebook and look up Greg from Pell City and contact him there. Free no-cost roof inspection, roof replacement, storm damage. He's got his builder's license. He can take care of you there. It's the great folks at Storm Restoration Roofing and our friends at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, great place for lunch or dinner tomorrow night. Odie's Team Trivia every Wednesday. The original location in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Stop in, enjoy the great food from Rodney Davis. More than 35 years now. The award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, like the Diablo sandwich, ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop into either location. Birmingham Institution, Odie's Tavern.
All right, so let's hear from Auburn head coach Hugh Freeze, who sat down here with us a couple hours ago now, early in the morning here at SEC Media Days. Here's our conversation.
All right, Auburn head football coach Hugh Freeze with us at SEC Media Days. Our coverage presented exclusively by Baptist Health. Welcome in, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here this morning and get mine out early this week and head back to Auburn.
Yeah. Do you? I guess you like the early tee times.
Here we go.
Well, it depends on what's going on at work.
Okay. Back with you here in Atlanta. We'll get back to our Hugh Freeze conversation here in just a second. I don't know if what'd you say, Tim? Help me out here. Cued and ready. Toss it again. Okay, absolutely. Here is our conversation with Hugh Freeze. As I was saying, hopefully this time you can get the video with the audio of my joke about the tea time, and then we'll get into the serious stuff.
All right, Auburn head football coach Hugh Freeze with us at SEC Media Days. Our coverage presented exclusively by Baptist Health. Welcome in, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here this morning and get mine out early this week and head back to Auburn.
Yeah. Do you? I guess you like the early tea times.
Here we go.
Well, it depends on what's going on at work.
Yes.
You do it either before work or after work.
Do you know? Have you heard of Trey Lamb? Do you know Trey Lamb?
I do.
I
don't know him real well, but
yeah.
We've been around each other.
Yeah, we laughed about it because first year at Tulsa, he's qualifying for the Oklahoma State Amateur.
I tell you what, he's a good player.
I bet he is.
Apparently so.
No, he qualified on the number too.
He's a good player.
Yeah. It's just such a funny. One guy's out there publicly doing it, and it's just different worlds, obviously.
You got to win, baby.
Yeah. I've done this 32 years, and it's about winning, like you said, because I've seen people complain about somebody going to a concert that lasts two and a half hours.
I've had them complain about that too, or anything that. So I just usually don't say much anymore or post much anymore, and you take your family on vacation or you go to the lake.
That's right.
They don't like that either.
So you're one of these guys, you like practical jokes. I saw a story from strength and conditioning coach a couple of years ago, Ole Miss. Will you give us a Cliff Note version? I don't know if you guys have ever heard this story.
I've not heard this story.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was I put a dummy with like hair on it, and you had the Vaught Hemingway kind of overlooked the practice field, and you could go up at about the fourth level, and it was rivalry week, and I was like, don't let any spies be there, and so all of a sudden everybody starts pointing up there, and obviously it was orchestrated, and my strength coach at our team sees him running up the stairwells or whatever that's called outside where you wind up to the upper levels, and when he gets there, he form tackles it looked really, my equipment guys did a good job.
So it looked legitimate.
and then they both go down behind the rail, and actually we had a real guy there that he tackled, and then the dummy is laying on the ground. And they start tussling, and the dummy goes over the rail. And then that's when I say, everybody in! Everybody in! I think the best one was our Halloween one where I put we had this really small manager, and I put him in the towel bin with this big green mask on. And the reactions from the kids being scared was classic.
Okay, real quick though, when the dummy goes over, did you not go a little further and say, "Hey, look, if we're all in, we're all in"?
I did. So that's why everybody in. We've got to talk. Everybody in. I made them go in. That's all right. We've got to protect Coach Nom.
But it was
building.
But it was we got to bury the body. We got to bury the shovel.
I didn't go quite that far.
Ended up being a good season, though, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just very love this team. I honestly love the kids. I don't know that you ever get 100% of everything you want out of the chemistry and culture, but we're pretty dang close. We're up there, and really have enjoyed. I don't know. I enjoy being around this group, and I did the others too. But there's something. I don't know if it's when you get a health report or what it is, but I'm closer to them. I feel, and maybe that's just because it's my third year and I've known them longer. Some of them, but really like our team, and I think we have the bullets to go and compete.
Well, I was down there at A-Day, and it felt different.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. You said something the other day, and we played the clip on the air. It was on David Pollock's podcast, but I'd love you to explain it a little deeper. And it's like light bulbs went off for us about recruiting. In this new era, you've got to decide, okay, that recruit, this in this case was a wide receiver. If you've got a wide receiver room like yours, you have to make – it's almost like an NFL roster. You're not out looking for a free agent and wide receiver if you've got Justin Jefferson and a couple other receivers on your team already.
It is. You just described it like the NFL, and no one really talks about that.
Yeah.
And I know we're not where we want to be in the quote recruiting rankings, but I don't know how much the rankings are going to matter a whole lot. There's four buckets to me, and the number one bucket is retain that locker room that you want. And people certainly don't. I hear all the he's just lost two more receivers. Well, truthfully, we're very transparent to a fault probably in recruiting right now, but we think that's the way that's going to win out in the end if we understand the accurate settlement and exactly how it's supposed to operate. But on paper, I don't have no receivers leaving.
Right.
And so what do you do in January? And by the way, you're trying to sign a class in December, and you don't know what will happen in January.
Yeah.
Which is really, really difficult. And so, we're going to try to sign one receiver, but I kind of like to hold on to that room I have.
Right.
And that's where you can't offer deals to kids and then they sign with you in December. Now what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, and you talk about that strategy, and I know you believe in it, and John Cohen has talked about it, but does it feel like a gamble? I mean, is there some gamble involved in this? Because you just said yourself, we hope that's the way it will go down, and so much of this is changing in real time.
Yeah, and that is the real question. Those of us who are operating within exactly the way we were told the settlement should, that being we can discuss a portion of the revenue sharing with the recruit, but that no other outside NIL can be promised to them.
Right.
That's the way we're operating.
Sure.
And if we are wrong, I assume somebody will tell me that at some point. And we have a great plan. I mean, John Cohen has hired a marketing team that we have the money and they're going out and they're going to go out and attempt to get deals. But this is our first go-round with Deloitte, and I have no clue what they're going to do. Our experience so far with current players has been positive.
Yeah.
But these have never played a down.
Right.
And it's hard for me to believe that someone would view that, in a manner that's going to get these extreme amounts that have been that I think have been promised to some.
Yeah. I know you're super excited about your quarterback, Jackson Arnold. Hard, like last year, he was sacked so many times with that offensive line, lack of receivers to see what he really is. Is there any Bo Wallace in him?
You know what? He's a competitive dude like Bo. Bo was more outspoken than Jackson is. Jackson's more reserved. I tell you what I did this year is we probably run out of time, but I did personality tests on all our coaches, myself, and the players, and I think it's really helped me, particularly with the quarterbacks, and maybe with some coaches. And it's helped myself understand, when he tells you things that you really don't like to hear, but he's actually right. When he tells you that here's when you need you got to quit being. He does it all in basketball players: Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Steve Kerr, and you got to quit being Michael Jordan to these quarterbacks at times because Michael just, And I can find myself doing that, and I don't think that's what Jackson needs right now. And I've made a real effort, and I think his confidence just grew and grew and grew and grew throughout spring, throwing to these receivers and obviously, hopefully, getting him protected.
Auburn coach Hugh Freeze. Coach, always thank you for the time. Good to see you.
You guys are good, man. Like to be with Alabama folks, and glad y'all are over here. Looking forward to the season.
Yep. Thank you, Coach.
War Eagle.
Coach Hugh Freeze there with us. So let's break it down. Let's pretend it was we're doing a political show, and we're going to break down what he was selling us right there. Fact check some of that. What'd you think?
Well, first off, he didn't finish the story on the strength coach that threw the dummy over the Vaughn Hemingway, because the report was, and maybe that was more than a decade ago. Maybe it's not politically correct, but I think he rallied everybody in and said, if we're all together, we've got to get coaches back. We've got to bury the body. We got to bury the shovel.
Bury the body.
But I don't think shovel. I think he tried to get off that story pretty quick. I don't know, man. I mean, he faked me out last year. He seemed really confident going into year two, did he not? With Peyton Thorne, I do think he's got a much better quarterback situation. I think he's got a lot of skill. I think this is going to be a much better team this year.
Manageable schedule, as manageable you can be in the SEC with Georgia and Alabama both on the schedule. But it lays out with those two games at home. You can make a case this team could be sniffing the college football playoffs when you get to the Alabama game at the end. And that would take a lot.
You can make the case.
You can make the case that they could be sitting there 8-3, 9-2, playing Alabama and with a shot, and that would be a crazy scene. And Hugh's still your coach. You can also make a case that they could lose to Baylor, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Georgia. And early on, it's off to a horrible start. And we could see DJ Durkin as an interim coach. In the Iron Bowl.
I'll tell you, if I'm an Auburn fan, I expect to be sniffing the playoffs, because if you look back last year, we obviously know the teams that made it from the SEC. But Texas A&M was right there in November. South Carolina was right there in November. Ole Miss was right there in November. So in year three,
Eli Drinkwitz told us Missouri was right there in November.
He continued to say it.
But when Hugh's making, $9 million a year, and it's year three, and you go out and you get a quarterback of your choice in the portal, a former Gatorade Player of the Year, my expectation, if I'm an Auburn fan, is we got to creep around that 9, maybe 10 win, at least in November, be in the conversation to make something happen.
I'm obviously far more interested in talking about the on the field, the season coming up, and all of that than I am recruiting. I mean, that's no secret the way we do this show. But this is a storyline that is just hovering around Hugh Freeze, and we did talk a lot about it in the interview. And the reason I asked this is the way he described their strategy, which they've been very open about this. He describes it in terms of like, well, we'll see if this was the right move. And that's a bit alarming to me, right? If I'm an Auburn fan, I asked him that point blank, do you feel like it's a gamble?
I can only speak for what I know. And I remember getting the same conversation when NIL first came on board from Greg Byrne and Nick Saban at Alabama. And after that first year, we got the infamous bought every one of them comments about Texas A&M's recruiting class. Obviously, during that cycle, Alabama approached it one way, and Tennessee, Texas A&M, and others were approaching it a different way. And then when you get to a certain date and you realize, well, there's nothing coming down the tracks that is going to keep Tennessee, Texas A&M, and everybody else from doing it that way. So we've got to jump in and start doing it the way everyone else is doing it. And Alabama and Nick Saban and Greg Byrne were quick to jump in and do it as the way everyone else was doing it. And I think that's what's going to have to happen for Auburn here very quickly. If all of a sudden the way they perceive this is going to happen, and everyone else is doing it different right now. 83 other schools are doing it different if they're 84th in rankings. So at some point, if there's nothing coming down the tracks to prevent the other schools from doing it the way they're doing it, then you've misread the room and you've got to pivot and change, and you got to do that pretty quickly, because as John Cohen will tell you and Hugh Freeze will tell you, it's a long way to December. You got times to make bigger offers to try to flip some people back around. Flip us is only a one payment away.
That's right.
It's only one payment away.
Well, he talked about 4 buckets, and he mentioned 1 bucket, and that's retention.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other 3 buckets are. I guess we probably figured out on the fly, but
chances are good they're full of money.
Yeah, but 1 bucket's full of cash. Yeah. In today's world of college football, if you got
I mean, you are right though. Yeah. Like you absolutely have to audible, and you've got to flip this thing around if you, in fact, are doing it one way and you're 84th and everybody else is doing it another way.
Well, they're proudly admitting they're doing it differently. And I mean, that's something they're proud about because they're telling us that. And I don't think they're telling us that to make an excuse for lack of effort or anything. I think they're telling us that because they are approaching it a little differently. And reading between the lines of what they're saying, we think come August 1st that there will be a lot of people out there that will have to go back and rework deals with players that they promise a certain thing and there'll be a number less than what they promised. And at that point, the market will be flooded and they'll go back and start scooping up big fish in those buckets.
Do you guys believe?
Yeah, that'll be the bucket full, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys think, second, third week of August, this is stuff that we're going to start hearing about?
I don't. I
don't either.
I think they've attacked it one way, and I've yet to see, since we've moved into this, any kind of penalty, hand slap, anything coming down the line that's going to stop people from doing what they're doing. I just haven't seen any evidence that this is going to become a strict world with hard guardrails. I think in August, Auburn's going to get there, and whomever they're talking about that's getting big recruits, whether it's Alabama, Georgia, Texas, whomever is getting all these recruits, I think at some point they're going to get there and like, crap, nothing's happening to those guys. They're keeping their recruits, and there's no penalties coming. There's no conversation. We're not getting a directive from the SEC to change the way we're doing things or for people to change. So we've got to start playing by everybody else's rules then, and then we'll see if they can flip things around.
But the assumption is you promise everybody, let's just go with a round number, $1 million, and you can't pay everybody the $1 million. And when August 1st gets here, then guys are going to be like, where's my money?
That's right.
And, we saw there was one situation that I remember last year with Matthew Saluka, the quarterback for UNLV, in the middle of the season. He was like, Barry Odom, give me my money. And Barry Odom was like, take a hike.
Yeah.
But the more I look at that, I think most of this would be covered up if that does happen.
Well, he wanted more money.
Well, but he did say that he was promised a certain amount and he wasn't delivered. I honestly think Barry Odom was like, hey, man, I think we've got a better quarterback. So, kick rocks.
But my point has always been, what does it benefit a team to promise something they know they can't deliver on?
Well, I think they will be able to deliver.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the hope is, all these teams, they've made these promises they can't deliver on. Why would you do that?
Yeah, they've read the rules one way. They think that this is the gray area or the line that we can go up to, and we don't think there'll be any punishment coming our way. So this is how we're going to do it. And much like Texas A&M and Tennessee and some others did it when we had the infamous "they bought every player" comment from Nick Saban, Alabama realized, okay, we were going to do it this way because we thought this is the way it was going to be, and there'd be penalties on the other side. There isn't, so we got to do it the way everyone else is doing it. I think eventually we'll get to that. But I know they're confident in their plans of the conversations I've had this morning. One more thing to get to in this opening segment, the show today being brought to you by our friend Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys.
That's right. You can visit Shannara.com. You never pay a dime unless they win your case at Shannara.com is a great place to start. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots headquartered in Birmingham. That is Alexander's hometown, Birmingham. He's a hometown guy. 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. And their elite trial lawyers have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values of integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
All right, Tim, if you'll give me cut number 3, this is Lane Kiffin yesterday getting asked about his continuous trolling of Hugh Freeze, the Auburn coach, on social media. Take a listen to Lane Kiffin trying to explain what's going on online.
It seemed like in the past week you've had a few tweets tagging or directing at Hugh Freeze. Was curious what the message or thought behind some of those posts were.
Well, someone said that coming in here to me. I like Coach Freeze, so I think they think that was something to do with, like, I was fishing, it was golfing. That really wasn't that. I have a thing with him going back a few years ago when he, like, posted a picture, like, in response to me of, like, some 2-pound bass or something like that. So I've kind of always posted bigger fish pictures back towards him, so that had nothing to do with his golf game, which sounds like he's doing amazing at that. So that's great for him.
Like he's doing amazing. Great for him. He's such a smart. It sounds like he's doing amazing at that.
So Lane is much better on social media than he is in person. It was a very personable moment yesterday. He is at the forefront of taking a poke at Hugh having a great golf game right now. And we all remember Coach Freeze with his fishing days at Ole Miss when he'd get a big recruit. He'd hold up a big mouth bass as he's got a big recruit as a way to announce it on social media. And now Lane is holding up bigger fish, actually out fishing during the dead period, he said.
It almost seems like an insecurity for Lane, like the former coach at Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze. But, I mean, Lane's done more than Hugh did at Ole Miss. I mean,
well, he has. And I think Hugh might take this on the surface with good humor. And I'm not saying that Hugh and Lane don't laugh about this, but I can tell you people at Auburn aren't real thrilled about this.
Well,
they don't like that Kiffin is doing this. And I don't know if it's like this is just unbecoming, that we should conduct ourselves better as coaches in the SEC.
Are you thinking,
or it's just,
are you talking more like internal Auburn, or like
they've told the SEC? They've told the SEC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You go further then.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they've sent word to the SEC that, hey, this isn't the way the coaches should be treating each other publicly.
Yeah. I was kind of hinting at that because I wasn't quite as comfortable as being as definitive as Jim.
It's 2025. I mean, this is just, I mean, we had a robot car last night.
We did.
I asked my robot a lot of questions.
They answered none of them.
We had delivery robots. We've got robots driving us around now. I don't understand that. It's very crazy. I'm just saying it's a different world now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, coaches used to not be on social media. They are now. Like, but if you asked an Auburn fan, Forrester's sitting right there. Forrester, do you care if Lane Kiffin trolls Hugh Freeze?
He's editing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he said no.
He said no. He doesn't.
Yeah.
So he gave you the same response as Waymo did last night.
Yeah.
Did yours get on the interstate?
No. That's what I asked. Do they get on the interstate?
Oh, absolutely. Mine got on the interstate.
Ours took back roads the whole way.
Yeah. Hey,
and I was asking it questions. Like, I had legit questions I wanted to know, and it wouldn't talk to me.
I'm saying, Lance, it is not going to answer you. Do you think he stopped asking questions?
Honest to goodness. It made 2 turns once we got off the interstate, but it made 2 turns in front of oncoming traffic that I grabbed the old crap bar twice. I never thought you'd have to do that in the computer car, but 2 of them, it cut in front of some oncoming traffic. It knew what it was doing. It was perfectly timed, but it was aggressive. It would have been it was nerve-wracking, and I was in the front seat, and then it stopped and was letting us off 14 minutes, a 14-minute walk from the hotel.
Oh no.
And we wouldn't get out of the car, and it's like, please exit. And we are not exiting. We had to talk to we had to hit the button and talk to a human.
Yeah. To a human.
Yeah. Who was awake somewhere.
So what is gonna I mean, and inevitably this thing can be the best driver in the world, but somebody else is gonna make the mistake and hit it.
Oh, it was like we were on a test drive. There was 2 horses, not a carriage, just horses riding. And I was like, is it going to recognize horses? And then it was a carriage that basically was a see-through carriage being drawn by a horse that all I could see was the lights. I couldn't see part of the carriage, like just the lights you would have in a high school girls' room. And I was like, is it going to recognize that? And we started joking in the car, like, we're on the test drive for this.
That's right.
thing.
This is the first time out.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, these little, it's like a gang of guys on scooters, the little electric scooters that you pay for downtown. Like 20 guys are zooming in and out of traffic. And I'm like, this is just, we're going to have an accident there. And we're going to have to wait.
We got home safely.
We did. I just wonder literally how many jobs are going to be taken based on this. Like if James Sr. was still alive, would he get in a robot car or would he be like, I want a man to drive me?
He wouldn't let a man drive. I'm driving myself. What do you think I am?
Yeah, he wouldn't let a woman drive. You're right about that. So, man, I don't know what he would do. I hope he's watching in heaven right now going,
these idiots.
Going, I can't believe my son got into, first of all, I can't believe he ordered a rice bowl at a Tex-Mex restaurant.
Oh, yeah. He's probably not happy about that.
He was not. Get some meat, son. All right. That's Lane Kiffin trolling Hugh Freeze and our Hugh Freeze conversation. It is up for you. Is all of our content from our Baptist Health coverage of SEC Media Days on all of our social media platforms. Go check that out. As we go to break here, I will tell you Josh Pate's coming up on the other side. Show being brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center, and always online, as Jim said, at johnstonrvcenter.com. RV warranty forever. Make sure that everything you buy is covered by a lifetime warranty if it is new or qualifying pre-owned. They take care of you there. They've got a price range with approved credit for just about everyone as low as $129 a month, all the way up to the big motorhomes. So they've got it all right there at Johnston RV Center. Again, Seymour, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
This is SEC Media Days 2025 from the College Football Hall of Fame, presented by Baptist Health.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Heupel Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Heupel are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Heupel Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Heupel Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
A big thing coming soon to the professional world of Josh Pate. A big thing happened to him privately in his personal life already this summer. We're about to talk to him after Brownie tells us about the one big thing at Bojangles.
I'll admit I'm intrigued. From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces, so we'll definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. Add some tang with barbecue. If you want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It is Bo time.
Truthfully, we're not going to talk about his new big thing coming because that's an announcement at another day, right? He's just,
I guess.
You're dark right now, right?
Honestly, by the way, sometimes I almost, every time I come on the show, there's a masterful tease.
Yep.
Trademark that term, by the way. And I'm like, wait, what does Dunaway know? Might he know more about me than I know about me? Continue. I just want you to go for a second.
He's allowing you to unleash whatever you're talking about.
I can't do it. I don't know what is. I don't know what is out in for public. I don't
consumption.
Know. I just know you shut down the show for a brief moment, and when you came back, it was going to be big. Hence,
you know how
summer is.
Yes. In our industry, that's when everyone lines their contracts up to expire in summer, and then you're going to renegotiate in summer. And then, honestly, around this event is normally when everyone's trying to aim to get everything buttoned up. Some of it spills a little bit past that. So it's just that sort of thing. And it may not be one big thing. It may be like 2 or 3 big things.
Maybe 2 or 3 big things. I see you sitting over there for a certain brand, and you're working at least for today for CBS Sports. I see over there.
I look happy.
Yes,
I do. I think it seems like a good home for you.
Well fed.
Go see the content over at least for today on CBS Sports.
We were talking to Hugh Freeze earlier, and we were talking about expectations in year 3. And if I'm an Auburn fan with the money he's making, you look around outside of the teams that made the college football playoff last year, A&M, Ole Miss. Dunaway brought up Missouri, South Carolina. These teams were still in the mix to possibly get into the college football playoff last November. So if I'm an Auburn fan, if we're not in the conversation in November, it has been a massive disappointment. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think if Hugh took the job and you asked him, hey, would it be fair to expect you to be competing for the SEC title by year 3? He would have said yes. In fact, I've heard him walking around today saying, no, we're going for it this year. Like, we should have high expectation this year. I've heard him do like 3 interviews already. So if he's not shying away from it, why should I build a safety net under him? I also think that if you look at the talent they've acquired, they haven't been poverty recruiting classes. Like, they've stacked now 3 good classes on top of each other. They had an opportunity last cycle to go get a quarterback out of the portal. They really kind of punted that to this cycle. They went and got the guy that they wanted this cycle. So, like, at some point, it's not charity. Like you said, you're being paid a lot of money to coach this game. I credit the Auburn folks for giving him the runway that he's been given. Because a lot of folks out here by year 2 in the new era, it is do or die. You better get us 9 or 10 wins or else. And Freeze hadn't done it for 2 years. And yet I think folks were aware of what Harsin did or didn't leave there. It's totally different than what Kalen inherited or what Ryan Day inherited when they took over their respective jobs. So unequivocally, it's fair. If if the Auburn folks weren't giving time and resources to him and expected a lot from him, that's when it's not fair. But he's got both of those things.
If you were a coach potentially coaching for your job, as we just discussed, would you be comfortable with Jackson Arnold being that quarterback to save your job?
It depends on who I am, what my reputation is. From the outside looking in, no, I can't honestly tell you that I am comfortable. But like when I listened to Jackson Arnold this morning, Jackson Arnold knows something I don't know. He knows the full truth about his existence last year.
Yeah.
He knows the full truth about how maybe oil and watery the Jackson Arnold into the Seth Luttrell offensive experience was.
Right.
Yep. He may know how combative it was for a personality like him to play for a personality like Brent Venables. So there's a lot of exteriors that I can't know. None of us can know that he knows. All right. So all I go on is it was a disaster. He turned the ball over a lot. They imploded. And now he's coming to a place that largely was guilty of the same things last year. And so, do two negatives just magically equal a positive? Might they not be as negative as an outsider perceives them to be? But all I can be is an outsider. So all I can be is a little uneasy. Now, if you go beat Baylor 38-13, and he throws for 342, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, well, then I'll look at it and say, first off, wow, how bad was Oklahoma last year?
Exactly.
And secondly, I'll say maybe he knew what he was talking about when he didn't shy away from expectations in media days.
That Baylor game's fascinating.
Yeah.
You go on campus a lot.
Campi. Campi, the plural of campus.
Yeah, you go on Campi a lot. And you talk to a lot of coaches. Do you ever leave, and I don't want you to give me names. I'm not asking for names. But do you ever leave going, I don't like that guy? I mean, is there ever a coach that you talk to that when I leave him, and this is a bad transition that it fell right after our discussion about Hugh Freeze. It has nothing to do with a particular coach. I'm just asking, you seem very positive about a lot of coaches you interviewed. Do you ever leave one going, that guy's just not who I thought he was, and I'm not sure I'm a big fan?
There's only been one of them. It's not Hugh Freeze. I love Freeze.
Yeah.
It's not anyone in the SEC. There was one we did within the last couple of years. The experience was good. The conversation was good. It was just kind of bland.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, the guy's just kind of, it felt like media days, honestly. It felt like he was just giving sort of canned answers. And
Mario Cristobal?
I promise you it's not Mario. Mario's like, Mario, we got to stop if that's okay.
Yes.
But it was one of those where afterwards I asked the SID because they had really pushed hard for us to come there. And afterwards I said, did it seem like it was a chore for him to sit through that? And then the SID kind of confided in me, yeah, we kind of pushed for it. It wasn't so much him pushing for it. We just kind of hoped he would open up when you came here and you kind of got what we normally get every day. And I'm like, okay. And we shook hands and we've been on our way. It's no ill will. I kind of looked at the trip as a wasted trip. That's how it was. But most of the time, we're not going anywhere where I don't have a pre-existing relationship with, at the very least, the head coach. We learned the hard way on that one. So most of them are really good. It's just the dynamic. One of them's taking the stage today in Kirby Smart. The dynamic is how much of what they tell you off the record can you get them to say on the record? Because it's not always state secrets. A lot of time, it's stuff they're saying, and you're like, why won't you just say this publicly? It may not even be about his program. It's just about the overall world of college athletics. And like, I don't get why on this particular topic you have to be off the record on this. I wish you'd let that stuff flow more.
Do you find it interesting that Texas in year two, it's almost everyone you talk to, it's Texas and somebody else in the SEC championship game. It's like brands like Georgia and Alabama. Kirby Smart's got multiple national championships. Kalen DeBoer has achieved more than Steve Sarkisian. Those are bigger historic brands, but it seems like everybody's gravitating to Texas, and teams like Alabama and Georgia are kind of forgotten.
Yeah, I would especially love that if I were Alabama. Because, I mean, if I'm Kalen DeBoer, I've beaten Sark a couple of times. I beat Kirby last year. Like, none of these guys have even beaten me. Dan Lanning's tried several times. He hadn't beaten me either, and yet they all get benefit of the doubt over me. But you're right. Texas is – I think people just want to see that. I mean, I think people want to see that Longhorn brand with an SEC championship crown on it.
SEC people don't want to see that.
Who wants to see it?
Oh, everybody picking them. I think I'm talking about the subconscious.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Right? So maybe in your heart you don't want to, but like your subconscious is telling me, because you're right. Everybody is just defaulting to it. And they default to it. And Lance, if you push them, they'll say, well, who else is going to win it? Bama's got a lot of questions. Georgia's got a lot of questions. Well, dude, Texas has got a mile-long list of questions.
They got to replace 4 offensive linemen, their top 3 receivers. They've got a quarterback that I've never seen this much pressure on one player, literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there were pressure on a player like that, it would be one that was returning who had already done something. Like Tebow had immense pressure on himself in 09 because the only way to go up was to have the best season of all time. So that's a different kind of pressure. But you're right, for a first-year starter, I don't know.
Do you think he's going to be good?
I think he's going to be good. That's the problem. Good's not good enough.
Right.
I think he's going to be maybe even really good. But there's a season, there's a scenario where this season is him being the fourth best QB in the country, which is plenty good enough for them to win. And people look at it and say, he's disappointment. And here's the follow-up. He's a disappointment relative to what my expectations were for him. It's never, maybe I set the bar too high. Maybe I was a little bit flawed in my level of expectation. It's always, this stupid kid's not playing like I said he's supposed to play. Yeah. He's a bust. He's a failure.
That's the old Saban the school of thought that Nick Saban would always say. Well, you're only disappointed because you had a false sense of expectations. I've seen the film. I knew the kid. I didn't have those. I'm talking the Saban hand. Sure. I didn't have those expectations. And I mean, he would say stuff like that's when you knew Saban.
Is that Pine Bomb or is that
Thumbs of Vegas?
That's Saban. No, that's when you knew he was uncomfortable. When Saban was about to go into a rant, he was a little uncomfortable. Those hands got in those armpits quick.
Those are the power thumbs.
That's the power thumbs. Yeah, they got in those armpits quick. But that's his old school of thought was you're only disappointed in him because you had expectations you built up. Those weren't my expectations.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that about Arch Manning.
It's hard to say it because even Steve Sarkisian
to agree. No. And the one guy that's handled it great has been Arch.
Yeah.
I think anytime we play Dunaway throws to a cut of Arch, he says all the right things. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much he has bought into it.
Yeah. The one thing, so that's maturity. He's got maturity.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how many guys in history have been pretty elite physical talents, incredible maturity, and have just been a disaster in decision making? Not many. We don't see many of those, period.
But most of them don't come from the Hall of Fame lineage, and this matters because those guys have been through it and can. Most of the time he's a stud quarterback at Corona, California. His dad doesn't know how to deal with that, right? And there a lot of things come with that.
That's why I'm saying if there's one guy who kind of blindly gets benefit of the doubt, it just makes sense that that's him.
I agree.
Because there's so many. I struggle to see the scenario where he's just a disaster. There are scenarios where he kind of is good enough, but not enough.
Yeah.
Those are plentiful. And then, of course, he could just be a monster this year and they could pull away and win the title by 30. But I struggle to see, short of injury derailing him or something like that, is there a healthy Arch Manning where I just look at it and say, this kid's not that good?
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know.
Yeah. The Texas roster technically could not be as good as the one as last year. We'll see how it plays out. Josh Pate's with us for a few more seconds, brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health, bringing you the coverage from SEC Media Days. Man, this feels like one of those years that we may get to November and we're going to be like, man, this Josh Heupel guy can coach. He can take a leftover quarterback all of a sudden and get out there and drop some X's and O's, and they won the football game.
He got the quarterback out of the back of the press.
Talking about him like he's an ingredient.
Yeah,
Tupperware.
He takes Aguilar and he's like, "Is this still in date?"
I think I can still use this.
Let me ask you a question.
Stir it.
Are we talking about a real human being right now? That's their only path. This year they could go 8-4 and. You look at it, if they're 4 close losses, and say, man, they coached their tails off this year. Because I thought with Nico, it was a little bit of not a rebuild year, but sort of a little reset year because they're young this year, and I think 2026 sets up to be a good year for them. If they are even in the fringes of playoff contention, to me, it's been a dynamite coaching job by that staff. That to me is how expectations should be set for Tennessee this year. I'm not saying that's how they will be set. So I've just got a little bit different entry vantage point on them. I don't expect a lot from them. And if they achieve nothing but that, then I'm okay. But if they're 8-4, 9-3 especially, then I don't doubt Josh Heupel anyway, but it would just further reinforce what I already feel about him.
You are a movie guy. Best since we're in Atlanta, best movie ever filmed in Atlanta?
Oh, geez. Well, every movie of the past decade's been filmed here, pretty much. What? Let me think. Ozark was filmed.
I was going to say Ozark's the best show film.
That's where my mind goes. I'm trying to think of.
That was all up on Lake Lanier, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And no problem. Well, actually, I don't want to say that. So
don't say it.
Lake Lanier is
it's haunted, right?
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
I'll tell you what, me and Dunaway went and played a golf course up there.
I'm nervous driving over it.
Yeah, last time Media Days was here, and it was just a weird vibe at that golf course. You remember that?
Oh yeah, it was horrible. I remember the last time I ate at that fast food chain. I'll never eat it again.
Yeah, we hit a fast food chain and then played golf at 100 degrees. Probably.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
Probably not the best idea.
So Baby Driver was filmed here. Flight was filmed here.
The Nick Cannon classic Drumline was filmed.
Drumline.
Yes.
Did you ever see Sharky's Machine with Burt Reynolds?
The Flight I forgot about. Flight's good.
Yeah. So one of maybe the most amazing stunt ever. You know where the Westin is? So blind stuntman jumped out of the top floor in the movie Sharky's Machine.
And they had clearance for it, or they just did
No, they had clearance.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was 1982, but he fell. I mean, how many stories that is? I forgot how many. But he was a blind stuntman.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
I guess, in a sense, being blind behooves you as a stuntman. You don't really know what you're undertaking.
Oh, I guess.
You know that when the tornado hit here for a long time, the Westin had very, very weird looking replacement windows because the company that had fabricated the windows for the Westin went out of business between the time it was built and the time the tornado hit.
Oof.
So the SEC basketball tournament tornado made the Westin look like an eyesore for 5 years.
I was at that game.
Yeah.
And I was leaving because we were going out that night with a couple of guys that didn't care about being at the game. And Mikal Riley hit that shot that circled around. I was like, we got to stay for overtime.
I guess we'll stay.
And if we would have walked out,
you would have been just like that window.
Probably
would have been
so.
hideous.
Yeah.
Right now, you'd be doing.
I just remember there was
Dunaway and Brown show.
They're almost like bike racks. Those metal guards where they let people in and stuff. Those things were mangled and flipped over and stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I could go tornado.
Well, I know you
all day.
Yeah. He is Josh Pate. He has not chased. Have you chased a tornado this summer though?
I got one in Van Buren, Missouri earlier this year. Yeah. Beautiful Van Buren. Missouri. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Does the wife go with you now, or does she stay at home?
No, we can't allow that to happen.
Does she allow you? Does she say, "Hey, you need to shut this down at some point"?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. It's a give and take, and there is a lot of give on my end to just be able to still do that one thing.
Okay, but as a guy that studies that, let me ask you this, because Dunaway gives weather people, meteorologists, way too much credit. I think it's 50-50 on these forecasts. I really do. But they always get the tornadoes right.
Yeah.
Why is that so specific when you can't get rain right, but you can always get the tornado?
But they're not getting
rain right.
But they're not getting the tornado any more right than they're getting the rain right. Like if you look at the Storms Prediction Center, the 24, 48, 72-hour forecasting, and you're in the yellow or you're in the orange or you're in the red, you're talking about percentage chance within a 25-mile radius of an EF2 plus tornado. And that doesn't mean if Homewood gets hit, but Clanton didn't, but they were both in the red, you would view that as a successful forecast. The folks in Clanton, by applying your rain metric, could say, they said there was going to be a tornado here yesterday, and there wasn't one. And then, I don't know if you guys have followed the whole weather modification thing, but that's become this thing that has swept the weather industry. Have James Spann on to talk about that. That's be fun.
I'm impressed with your town knowledge of, the suburbs around Birmingham.
I always stage in Utah, Alabama. And mom says, where are you? Utah? I'll find it on a map. No,
not that way.
Trish, no. You're already down the wrong road.
Don't do traditional spelling. Not in Alabama. All right, he is Josh Pate, Josh Pate's College Football Show, 3 times a week. Go find him on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Set your alerts. Thank you, Pate.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, always good talking with you.
Josh Pate here with us, and the show
part. We got to do commercials.
Show being brought to you by Hemp Hill Services. They bring you Lance's Lock, lanceslock.com. Tell us about Lance's Lock and about him.
I did not play anything last night. Cal Riley obviously dominates the home run derby.
Yep.
But we will have side and total. We were working on that for the Major League All-Star game tonight in Atlanta, where we are. There's always a free play available at lanceslock.com. Again, we have heated up in Major League Baseball. Jump on board, win with us. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, any of those issues arise in your home or business. They are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at Breakline, I don't know if you guys will make it out. Clay Travis at the top of the hour. Clay's got a big patio overlooking Truist tonight to watch the All-Star game. It'll be the setting sun. You'll need your brake lines on if you're up there with him.
No doubt about it. BreaklineOptics.com, BreaklineOptics.com. And if somebody happens to hit a foul ball up that way and hits your glasses, you know what you're not going to have? Shattered lenses. Those molded Trivex polarized lenses, they last forever, man. You can't bust them with a hammer. You can get that at BreaklineOptics.com. Great looking glasses that are functional. They're made by people that love the outdoors. to be outdoors, and you're not going to have the discoloration from the salt water and the lake water and all of that. It is going to be exactly what you want. It's a durable pair of glasses that will last you forever and look great. BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com.
All right. So Georgia is another school that's here today. If I ask you this question, Kirby Smart, the best years behind him or ahead of him right now?
Probably best years behind him, just because it seems like at the top it's gotten a little more competitive. And the SEC, obviously, with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas, has got more difficult.
Okay, let's think about what he's accomplished. He played for 1 in 17, lost it in a heartbreaking way. He won 1 in 21 and 22.
Yep.
Was in the mix again last year. So what does the next few years look like? What makes it look not as good as that?
I would put the over-under on national championships at a half. I probably would play the over, saying he's going to get one more. I mean, for Kirby to get 3 national championships, I mean, what does that put him in elite company with?
Top 10.
3-4 guys?
Yeah. I mean, it's about as elite a company as you're going to get.
And, you know, we've always talked about this. I remember the last time we were in Atlanta for this event, what has that been, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? And I remember us talking about, you know, the clock is probably ticking on Kirby. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to coach forever. And that was 4 years ago. So, I mean, how much longer is Kirby going to coach? Maybe 5 years?
Oh, you think so? You think within 5 years he could retire?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Boy, that is going to be a primo job opening when that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you will.
I mean,
they'll line up at the door.
I would assume Dan Lanning is going to be the natural candidate.
I think it'd be your first call, assuming he continues to have success at Oregon, which
I would think that he would probably at that point, he's, you know, won a Big Ten championship already. Maybe he wins a national championship. I mean, as good as Oregon is, I mean, it doesn't get much better than Georgia.
Easier to recruit these players to stay in the South with you at a powerhouse and take them out to Oregon.
Well, and I think for his legacy,
Lynn Schumann's on that staff. If Lanning said no,
I would think though for his legacy, and again, we're just playing this out, this hypothetical, but Dan Lanning probably wants to be a head coach in the SEC. Wouldn't you guys get?
No, I think in the back of his mind he would like that. Yeah, but I'm also thinking he's probably like, I got a pretty good here at Oregon.
I mean, do you guys think Kirby will win another one?
Well, here's the reason I asked this question, because there was a point, I think, for Nick Saban. We probably said after the 2013 season, is the best of Nick Saban behind him or ahead of him? And ended up it was right in the middle. He had more national championships, 3 of them still to come, and he'd already done 3 at Alabama. So he still had he still had the best that was still ahead of him. There was a time in 1960 something that you looked at Bear Bryant, and there were people that were going to be okay with him leaving and taking the job at Miami and being the Dolphins head coach. In fact, he turned in his resignation and within 24 hours went back to the school president and said, I've thought about this. I stayed up all night and I want to stay at Alabama. Can I have my job back? But there were some people at that point thought the best was behind Bear Bryant, and he had 3 more national championships in him. And I just wonder if that's where we are in Kirby, where it feels like the best is behind him, but is there 3 more national championships still out there once we get to this new era? Everybody gets their bearings.
You know, I think we've said everything you can say about Nick Saban, but there's just something so different about him. Like in any other sport, I don't know if you could have a coach that I mean, look at the orange on the fingers.
No, it's bleeding over.
Yeah, and finally Forster told me yesterday when he came down to the lobby, he's like, I can see that spray tan now.
Yeah.
I don't think if you look at another sport, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, college basketball, such a separation between the best to ever do it and the next guy. And Nick Saban, I've just never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not anybody that has ever even been close.
I just don't know if this era of college football is going to sustain a guy like Kirby doing it long term with the money he's already made, the success he's already had, and having to navigate the waters that probably he's been able to navigate, but deep down inside frustrate him.
Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to answer on the other side. I'll give you time to think about it, because this is one of those times where I feel like, you know, you have your thoughts on one day and then a thought on another day. But yesterday we were having a discussion about Nick Saban getting back in it, and you guys are talking about Kirby getting out of it. and I'll ask you on the other side when we talk about Nick Saban getting back in it, why you think Kirby would want to get out if there are people wanting to get back in. I mean, the same things that drive Kirby crazy are the same things that drive Nick crazy and wanted Nick to get out. And now there are people who are wanting me to believe that Nick would consider getting back in. Then why would Kirby want to get out? We'll talk about that more coming up on the other side and hear what Damian Harris says about Nick Saban, his former coach, getting back in, who is now a media person here in town and actually nationally with CBS Sports. We'll hear from Damian Harris coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop as we approach the end of hour number 1, LT.
Hey, stop by the New York Butcher Shop. 2 great locations for you. The original Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Go see Jim and those fantastic butchers. You can pick up the best meats from the steaks, the ribs, the pork, the chicken. Great house made inside, sides made in-house from the baked beans, the goat cheese mashed potatoes, the mac and cheese. Fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. One-stop dinner shop. 2 locations. Stop in today. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
And this is the SEC Championship being brought to you live from the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta by our friends at Baptist Health.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
SEC coverage continuing from the College Football Hall of Fame. Time to talk to Clay Travis. All of our coverage brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health.
That is right. It is a new day in healthcare as our friends with Orlando Health and Baptist Health celebrating that new day in healthcare. Through this partnership, advancing and providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of the individuals and communities served. Baptist Health, the exclusive presenter of SEC Media Days here on the next round. Clay Travis is the founder of Outkick. You also see him on Fox at Clay Travis on social media. He is with us on the Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys Hotline. Welcome in. How are you, Clay?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we've talked a lot. You've been to a lot of SEC Media Days. I don't know. It's been a couple years since you've been to one. We were talking yesterday, and you would fondly remember this. I would imagine the old Winfrey days that we have now outgrown, when it was kind of a fan event that it is not anymore. Maybe I just get caught up in nostalgia, but boy, looking back on it, those days seemed awful fun, didn't they?
Yeah, they were. And I do think you're right that the fans were a lot more involved back in the day than maybe they are now. And I think that's partly a function of the event has just become a lot more corporate, by which I mean that the way it's set up now, it's really kind of a made-for-television event more than anything else. And I think that's changed the overall experience if you're there. I do think way more people become aware of what's said and of the storylines now than used to be the case. And I think, frankly, it's become much more of a televised event and much less of a radio event. And it used to be, at least in my experience, that it felt like radio was the star attraction back in the day, and that's certainly not the case anymore.
You know, it was an easy answer up until 21 when Georgia won a national championship. Kirby Smart's first, but the most tortured fan base, I assume it's Texas A&M?
Yeah, I think it's Texas A&M. I mean, I don't even think it's the most tortured fan base just in football. I mean, if you go look at Texas A&M, they haven't won they won a national title in football in 1939, but I think that's the last title they won overall, right? So it's not like they've had even a college baseball title or even certainly a basketball championship. I think it's probably the biggest and best fan base with the least that they've ever been able to support in almost 100 years now. So battered Aggie syndrome is for real. There definitely is that feeling that predominates.
Do you feel like this is a deep league still, the Southeastern Conference, Clay? That's something Greg Sankey has trumpeted, something I've trumpeted for years and years about how deep the SEC is compared to the Big Ten. Do you still envision the SEC football league as a deep league?
Well, I think what we're seeing with the 12-team playoff and maybe with the 16-team playoff is the depth actually doesn't matter as much. And what I mean by that is, everybody's got, 4 teams or 5 teams at the top of the SEC or the Big Ten that I think are going to be pretty good. I think the argument for a long time has been, hey, when you look at the middle tier of the SEC, those teams that are, 6 to 12, so to speak, they are substantially better than the Big Ten teams. I think that's true. But when you look at the Big Ten now, and, I just kind of trot out Ohio State, Michigan, obviously back-to-back national championships. Oregon is recruiting at an incredible level, and you toss in Penn State. I think you can make an argument that the top 4, now I think there's a fairly substantial drop-off typically after that top 4 in terms of consistency. But I think the top 4, which is typically what we're talking about when we're talking about the playoff of the Big Ten and the SEC, are not substantially different. like they may have been in years past.
Clay Travis is with us, founder of Outkick. At Clay Travis on social media. He's with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline. And I just don't know, sometimes I think we could fuse, and I know the Big 12 has recently, competitive conference for depth of conference. Like the Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark argued that they've got the deepest conference in America. I do think maybe they've got the most wide open and competitive, but that does not make you deep. That just means you've got a lot of parity.
Yeah, well, parity ultimately, I mean, the NFL has run into this a lot, right? It actually removes excellence and means now they play 17 that everybody's 9 and 8 or 8 and 9 instead of having any really, really elite teams. I mean, I think I saw the over-under for conference title wins. The top team in the Big 12 is 8.5. I mean, that means it's not crazy to think that we could have an 8-4 or 9-4 Big 12 champ that gets an automatic bid to the playoff. That to me is not a sign of conference strength. And by the way, building on the last question you guys asked, I also think the way you judge conferences, I think way less people are paying attention to the bowl games. I think everybody has just kind of tossed them on the curb. And it used to be you would look and you would say, okay, this conference, they've got 10 bowl teams. Let's go see what their record's going to be at the end of bowl season. I just don't think most people care in a 12-team playoff era. And so whatever happens in those big brand playoff matchups is going to, in many ways, dictate what people think of the conference, whether it's representative of what a conference is 1-16 or not. They're really just going to look at how the Big Four do, presuming that 3 or 4, usually I think 4 from the Big Ten and the SEC are going to end up in those in the playoff.
So Kirby, the only active SEC coach with a national championship. If I asked you, moving forward, the other active coaches, if I put the over-under at 2.5, will win national championships, you go under or over that number? And we're talking Sarkisian, we're talking DeBoer, we're talking Brian Kelly, we're talking your boy Heupel.
The biggest challenge is how long are these guys going to stay there? And I actually think one of the under-discussed aspects of college football right now is I think a lot of these college football coaches are getting burned out because until they figure out what NIL is actually going to be, and I know they have the $20.5 million in place right now, but there's going to be lawsuits in every direction. I mean, every coach that I talk to, every time they look at their phone, it's a player wanting more money. It's somebody wanting to renegotiate the deal that they already have. It's somebody who's about to enter the transfer portal and wants to know how much interest that your school might have in them. I think the off the field, that is the completely non-coaching element of college football, now dominates. And I think a lot of these guys are getting burned out. I mean, I think you've seen it in a guy like Chip Kelly say, hey, I'll leave, head coaching at UCLA, go be offensive coordinator. I just want to focus on the X's and O's. I don't want to have to worry at all about managing my roster costs. And I think a lot of these guys are getting burned out. So to answer your question, I don't know how many guys are going to be there 5 years. Now, I think Arch Manning's going to be really good. Texas should have a real chance to win a title. Ole Miss has been consistently good under Lane Kiffin. I think the question is, what's the quarterback? I mean, they just had a first-round quarterback and couldn't make the playoff. I think the challenge overall is that surrounding talent going to be good enough to get past the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world, who are typically going to have better players than them? And so I think those are some of the challenges that are out there. So I would go under 2.5, just because I'm not sure how many of these guys are going to be there 5 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question I was about to, in my mind, count of the 16 coaches who I think 5 years from now will still be at their school. And I mean, I think DeBoer will.
But it's not even
championship, though. I mean, that goes hand in hand, really. For DeBoer to be there in 5 years, he has to win a national championship.
Gosh, you think so? So you don't think he could survive 5 years?
Maybe.
I guess that'd be 6 total years. What do you think, Dunaway? 6 total years?
I don't know. Is he making the playoffs every year, making a run in the playoffs and coming up short?
I mean,
swinging a miss last year.
Yeah, I mean, Clay, it would kind of become the Ryan Day syndrome, right? Like you're always close, but you never get the championship.
Yeah. And I think the standard, I mean, this is why you never want to be, I had to deal with this a little bit when we took over after Rush died. It is really hard to follow a legend in any profession, right? And usually the old cliche is you want to be the guy who's after the guy. So somebody else sitting around right now, obviously you guys know, and anybody who's a college football fan knows how hard it was to try to find somebody to follow Bear Bryant for so long at Alabama. We'll see whether Alabama can manage the transition from legend to non-legend, and see how DeBoer does. It's honestly kind of interesting. I think the best sports analogy, and it's actually athletics, which is even harder, or replacing a legend. I don't know what you guys would go to, but the first thing that comes to mind for me is Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to what's his name, who's now
Jordan Love. Yeah.
You've potentially gone boom, boom, boom with three incredible athletes, and then I may have mentioned this before, and certainly you know it better than anybody, but Miami Dolphins haven't exactly found somebody to replace Dan Marino yet after 40 years or whatever the heck, 35 years it has been. So I think that's the challenge. And look, some of these guys are going to be successful and just get burned out. And I don't know if they go to the NFL. I don't know if they decide they want to do something else. They're making so much money now that it's not like you have to have a job. And I just think you're going to see some guys just say, hey, you know what? I'm burned out. I can't keep up this pace until there's some sort of finality in how paying players is going to work itself out.
Yeah. Thank you for the Dan Marino reminder, as always, Clay. I appreciate it. Clay Travis, Outkick. Thank you, Clay. Enjoy the All-Star game tonight.
All right. Appreciate you all. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. We'll see you, Clay, with us on the Alexander Shinard Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Yep, and the show also being brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks LT.
Twin Peaks, great place to watch the All-Star game, whether you're in Atlanta, Birmingham, just one of those great locations throughout the Southeast. Stop in, enjoy the 29-degree cold beer. I have no idea what our kegerator is at right now. Dunaway, you got a guess?
Oh, it's absolutely 34 degrees right now.
34. Well, I guarantee at Twin Peaks, the beer is colder. 29 degrees. Get lunch, dinner, sit back, enjoy the great happy hour. The Twin Peaks girls running around all those great locations. But stop in for the All-Star game tonight at Twin Peaks.
Speaking of All-Star games, so we'll have a lot of emotional moments out there tonight. Let's do our Bojangles Tender moment of the day. Brownie, tell us about Bojangles.
From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with those sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time. Make us cry.
I'm not making you cry, but Mitch Voigt was a Michigan first-round draft pick this recent Major League Baseball draft. Michigan becomes the first school ever to have a first-round draft pick in the NFL, in the NHL, in the NBA, and in Major League Baseball in the same season. It just happened.
Wow.
That's interesting. I think
you limit it with the hockey.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I guess it wasn't first round. I was going to say Dave Winfield when he played at Minnesota. I thought he was drafted in all three, in football, baseball, and basketball. Probably wasn't first round.
Wasn't first round.
That's pretty impressive, though.
Mason Graham, number 5 overall. In the NHL, Will Horkoff was number 24 overall. In the NBA, Danny Wolf was 27th overall. And Mitch Voigt went in the first round. An extended part of the first round, the number 38 pick. And to add on to that, they had a player taken in the first round of the MLS draft this cycle.
All right, we're never breaking that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 5 if you throw that in, the 4 majors and 5.
Hey, that's pretty
crazy.
Impressive. And one national championship, I guess, to go with it, right?
Yeah, so
last year.
Yeah.
Interesting there for the Michigan Wolverines. Good for them. That's our Bojangles Tender moment of the day. Back to college football we go here at SEC Media Days, presented by our friends at Baptist Health. The conversation yesterday buzzing around up here, even got Brown talking about it, was Nick Saban coming back into coaching after being out for 2 years. He's a kind of guy that if Nick Saban's coming back, everybody wants him. Lane Kiffin gets asked down on the main arena room, on the main floor, about Nick Saban coming back to coaching. Here is the Ole Miss head coach.
Report today that Nick Saban might be interested in coming back to coaching. What would be your reaction if Nick Saban returned to the field?
I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of always thought that was going to happen. I kind of thought it happened after 1 year, but and I say that just because even seeing recent stuff with him and talking to him on the phone. At first, I have no knowledge that he's coming back. I don't think anybody does that. I just he's so sharp still. I almost feel like it's a waste that he's not. No disrespect to the media and what you guys do, but his ability to coach players and change lives in that, and he's so good at it. I just think he'll be back, whether that's NFL or college.
Yeah, that's Lane Kiffin yesterday. He says, I've got no knowledge that he is, but he's still so sharp. So I chased down Damian Harris, who played for Nick Saban, and he now works for CBS Sports. And in fact, the last time I interviewed Damian was in Atlanta after the 2017 national championship game. So I caught up with him and I asked Damian, man, everyone's talking about maybe Nick Saban getting back in. And there's some of them are attributing it to you, Damian Harris, saying you think Nick Saban may get back in. What's the deal?
You're making some headlines today. You seem to be, at least I'm getting texts. You're saying you think Nick Saban could get back into coaching someday.
Well, here's what I said. If the situation was advantageous for Coach Saban, and when I say advantageous for Coach Saban, I mean Coach Saban and Miss Terry. If the situation is advantageous, then I could never imagine Nick Saban walking away from the game of football and an opportunity to coach. I never could see that being possible. I remember I had a friend ask me right before he retired, when do you think he's going to give it up? And I said, when somebody has to pick him up off the ground and carry him off the field, that's when he'll be done. And that hasn't happened yet still. So it would be hard for me to believe that he wouldn't take a crack at it if he got the chance. But do I necessarily think that there is an advantageous situation for him right now? Maybe not, especially considering he's one of the biggest advocates for regulations. He's one of the biggest advocates for creating a culture and an environment that sets these kids up for success as opposed to just giving them fast cash and freedom to go wherever they want. So, I don't see it being for him right now. But, again, I know Nick Saban, and I know he loves to coach football. So anything can happen. Anything can happen.
All right, so there's two guys yesterday, one that coached with him, one that played with him, off of what McElroy had said on his show, and you brought up yesterday. Now, what do you think a day later?
Well, I talked to Greg this morning, Greg McElroy, and I think Greg felt like maybe what he said was taken out of context a little bit.
Which is what I was saying on the show a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had no way of knowing that.
Right.
I'm just reading what, was being attributed to what Greg said. Now, he admitted he said what was reported he said. He just felt like it was being taken out of context. He also, Greg, was adamant in thinking it would not be a college coach, it'd be an NFL job. And I just never thought Nick Saban particularly cared for coaching in the NFL. I mean, if Andy Reid retired and you were handed a Super Bowl champion team, maybe you consider that. But I do not see Nick Saban in this stage of his life with all that he has accomplished. And with his legacy being what it is, to go to an NFL team that's got a first, number one draft pick and try to build something. I just don't think he's got time to do that.
I do agree with Lane Kiffin. It's unfortunate because he is such a sharp guy, but, time is undefeated. And we talked about this yesterday. If he was to come back for 4 or 5 years, I mean, we're knocking on the door of 80 years old. As sharp as he is, that's still a big number. Let's not discount his relationship with Bill Belichick. If Belichick goes out this year and has a special season, that is something that could rejuvenate Nick Saban. If he sees Bill having fun and being competitive in the ACC, I don't think that's going to happen. I could almost see a one-and-done situation for Belichick. I still don't think Saban's going to come back, but I do agree with Lane Kiffin. I mean, we are shorting ourselves with the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's left some on the, some meat on the bone, so to speak. And I started thinking about, okay, who are coaches that probably did that? Bill Walsh probably got out too soon. He probably
got out of the NFL too soon?
Probably left the NFL too soon and then was missing it and went to Stanford. He left too soon. I thought twice at least the first time, Dick Vermeil left way too soon.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got back in it.
Well, he was one of the first ones that admitted it's too much of a grind for me. I mean, he was sleeping in at his office in Philadelphia, and was never going home. And he was just like, I can't do this anymore. And when he came back to St. Louis, it was St. Louis, right? When he came back to St. Louis, I think he handled it a little bit differently. They got good real quick.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they fell into an interesting quarterback situation and a great offensive coordinator with Mike Martz. How many current athletic directors would fire their coach if Nick Saban said secretly behind the scenes, this is the only program I want to coach next year?
I'll give you 5 years. I bet a lot would. I mean, if they knew for a fact they were landing Saban, I think a lot would.
I mean, I think Sarkisian would get the boot.
No, he wouldn't. I don't think Texas would do it.
Well, it depends on what happened this year. I mean,
this year. Yeah.
See,
I mean,
you're answering the question.
I'm answering right now
as you're sitting here at SEC Media Days. This cycle wouldn't start until we got into the season, which opens the door for a variety of different people. It could be Texas. It could be anywhere that somebody's been disappointed. And I gave no chance to it yesterday on the air. I still give no chance to it, but it is fun to think about. Of him jumping into a place, not Alabama, and doing it again and trying to lead a third different team to a national championship.
But if you were his best friend, what would you tell? I mean, I would be like, do what you want.
Yeah.
But
I would tell him not to get in.
I would tell him, man, this life outside that grind is so much fun with the money you've got.
And just why reset it? Like, he has had such a great career.
You walked away on your terms, being viewed as the best that has ever done it.
Well, as a guy who now 7 times in 2 days have had somebody say to me, man, you've been doing this a long time. Some form or fashion of that. I got asked in the bathroom right before the show started, how many of these have you been to? And I said 32. And like 32.
They're going to honor him later. Greg said he's going to have
No, I did. I mean, it's interesting to see how people at this event have aged. I saw a guy creeping around yesterday. I'm not going to say his name on the air, but I was like, damn, I remember him a few years ago, and he was moving a little quicker.
Yeah, younger guy. And I got asked those questions, and then it started to sink in on me when I hear other people doing coverage, and we're going to do it like this, we're going to do it like that. Let's go do this, and I want to say, probably you shouldn't waste your time doing that, or maybe just do this, or don't do that, or no need for you to still be doing this, to still be there editing at 11 o'clock at night after your 10 o'clock show. Do this and go have a beer. To give some sage advice, different ways of doing it now. I can see where Nick Saban could be setting it out on these college game days and going around with Herb Street and them going, oh, if I had that roster, we'd win this game today. And you guys would be talking about Nick Saban just had a big win, and it wouldn't be me sitting up here talking about somebody had a big win. We would have just had a big win. I could take that team. I could take that program. And you guys would be coming back, not here in September. You'd be coming back in November with game day. Y'all want to be back here again.
End of the year.
In Herb Street, you'd want to sit down and talk to him because we'd have a hell of a team. I could see him, that part of him, sitting there going, I still got some in me. I still got some left in me to have a good run. I could do another chapter.
Man, I'm telling you, though, he has got, I don't know, when you go college football jobs, I mean, to be associated with game day and to travel to the biggest game every single week and still be able to talk about all the games and all the teams without having to deal with the NIL and the athletes and the assistant coaches.
And getting paid about what he's getting paid, if not exactly what he was getting paid in the college coaching game.
That's right.
And to have the outside business interests that are paying him a ton.
Yeah. He looks younger now than he did when he retired, and that's because his lifestyle has gotten a little bit better.
Yeah. It is interesting. If you look at side-by-sides, Nick Saban 10 years ago and today, it's about the same. I saw Sean McVay when he took over the Rams in 2016.
Is he aging like a president?
He looks great.
Yeah.
Looks maybe better now. Yeah, I had to get my Rams in there.
Yeah, I noticed.
We will do 4 downs. I threw you Dick Vermeil to set you up for that.
Yeah. And Connor's going to stop by too. Connor O'Gara going to jump in.
Connor O'Gara, 4 downs, and a lot more still to go on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling. now available in the great state of Alabama and other places. Check your ABC stores if you're in Alabama. Check your local stores, no matter what state you're watching us in, and see if you can find the company.
My good friend Scott Banks is in Missouri today. He works for Company Distilling. He was like, I got to see a picture of Diego Pavia. So I sent him Mr. Swag, Diego Pavia yesterday. But Company Distilling, man, if you're listening to us, stop by one of the package stores, ABC stores, pick it up. It is available in Alabama. It's available in South Carolina, Florida, Georgia. A bourbon this good is worth sharing with good company. Stop in and pick up a bottle today for the weekend, for the All-Star game. It's Company Distilling.
Yep, this is the SEC live from the College Football Hall of Fame, presented by our friends at Baptist Health.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout Central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Do you need some more fresh college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Heupel Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Heupel are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Heupel Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Heupel Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, back with you live now at the SEC Media Days 2025 of the College Football Hall of Fame. Connor O'Gara about to slide in with us and have a few seconds. Before he does, I want to tell you about our friends at Way to Wellness. Connor, I'm sure, has already noticed I'm 30 pounds lighter than I was this time last year in Dallas. If he didn't, he's about to notice that. You guys have noticed too. Thanks to our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Go to the website at planforme.com. planforme.com. No contracts, no sign-up fees. Your first consultation's absolutely free. Everything from injection therapy to protein bars, meal replacements, they'll take care of you. Leslie and her board-certified team, absolutely the best. Planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I'm over here, Connor. I know you can't see me.
Okay, so I got to confess something to you. So yesterday we ran into each other after media days had ended, and we were walking. My co-host Will Ogburn and I, we were walking back to our hotel, and you were walking kind of right by the College Football Hall of Fame. And my co-host grew up in Birmingham and knows you guys well. And he looked at you and was like, "That's not Dunaway."
Did he really say that?
He really said that to me.
Yeah.
He said that to me after, and he was embarrassed. He didn't know who you were because he grew up listening to you.
I had hair back then.
Well, and that's part of it. But it was the tattoo, and you look great.
Yeah, that's it. I'd be like,
no. But the tattoo, I noticed it immediately. I was like, I don't know, how long have you had that?
SEC Media Days.
2 years too long.
In Nashville.
Yeah.
In Nashville.
He was going to get it in Nashville, and the joint was closed. He couldn't get in. So we had Lance sold a sponsorship to a tattoo artist to come in studio and do it.
I love that.
If there is no better definition of our show, it is us selling a sponsorship to get Dunaway a tattoo.
Yeah, it started with Lance bringing a bottle of bourbon onto the show, which Shannon Terry had a drink, so many others, and then Brandon Marcello sat down and stayed for an hour, and we finished the bottle off. And then our social media director, Taylor Korn, was like, "We need some content tonight." And I said, jokingly, with a few bourbons, "I'll get a tattoo." And instantly she says yes. Instead of being a good friend and trying to talk me out of it, she's like, "Yes, I want the content." So we went around to different and I didn't know this was a thing. I knew bachelorette parties were a thing in Nashville. I didn't know that on some bachelorette parties, you get a matching tattoo for the whole party. That seems like a big commitment. But
that marriage better last if I'm going to tattoo.
But there were bachelorette parties lined up, all getting tattoos at several places. Our friend Clay Travis tried to call ahead to one and offered $5,000 to move me to the front of the line, and nobody would do it. And so we ended up getting it back home. But it matches one of my daughter's tattoos.
Got it. I was wondering because it's long live, right?
Yeah, it's actually live long.
Live long.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say long live is
it is
the Georgia Lions.
It is long live.
It's a deep lyric like this. Did I tell you your tattoo?
It is long live.
Yeah, because
live long was Lance Armstrong.
Live long, live strong.
Live strong.
I held on until like early 2020s with that. I was still living strong. I was.
Yeah, Connor O'Gara is here with us from all of his platforms, including Saturday Down South. Follow his podcast wherever you get our podcast. I asked this to a couple of people already today and this week. Do you still perceive the Southeastern Conference as a deep conference, as you used to perceive it? Is it deeper now than it was before? Do you consider this a deep conference still?
Yes, I do. And I do think that while there is clearly a change with the elite teams at the top, it's no longer just the SEC. It is the SEC and the Big Ten, in my opinion. I think it's so hard to evaluate what the 8th best SEC team looks like compared to the 8th best Big Ten team. I think that's incredibly difficult because our two evaluation points are at points where we no longer really feel like there's much weight in that. If they play early in the season, okay, well, by the end of the year, they're a very different team. South Carolina, when it was barely holding on against Old Dominion, was very different than when it was, Lenore Sellers led running through Clemson. And I think that we also look at bowl games now in a much different way. So that's like a cop out of an answer, but I still look at the SEC as deep. If the NFL draft talent is still there, if the recruiting rankings are still what they are, if the coaches are still paid unbelievably well, if guys that are transferring into the conference, having played in previous conferences, are still telling us that the SEC is a gauntlet like no other. Who am I to say that they're wrong?
No, I mean, I would agree with you on that. We kind of did that exercise yesterday, and this is going to hit home to you because we're talking about Indiana and the fact that Indiana made the playoffs largely based on their schedule.
Yeah.
I know you're an Indiana guy, but I mean, the schedule was
100%. Look, that schedule was not made to try and get a sneaky path to the playoff. It's trying to get a sneaky path to play in the Pinstripe Bowl.
No,
that's what all these schedules. They just canceled their. I think they had a series that they canceled. Who was it with? Like West Virginia, or it was with Virginia that they canceled. And they've got like an FCS opponent in Kennesaw State who used to be an FCS team that they added to the schedule. And you're like, well, man, they're doing like the easiest thing possible with these scheduling things and paying $500,000 basically to get the buyout of that home and home. So look, the schedule it's never going to be equal in college football. There are teams in the SEC. Look at Mizzou's schedule. Do you guys realize if you want to pull up Mizzou's schedule right now,
I'll get it.
There are some things that I could tell you about it that are just insane. They don't play a road game until week 8. They don't have a game against a team that won 10 games last year. They have one game in a non-bordering state. Like that, their schedule is Indiana's schedule reincarnated, but it's from the SEC. We're not talking about that because it's like, all right, well, we have to, give the SEC the benefit of the doubt. They're playing Kansas in non-conference play. What are we talking about here?
What are we doing here? Yeah, to Connor's point, Saturday, October 18th is the first time they leave home.
That's crazy.
That's insane. I've never seen that.
They even have a neutral site game
and it's
in there.
Yeah, I mean, I assume there was a neutral site. That's how they did that. But no, it's all home games until they go to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I'm just saying. So, there's always going to be that eyebrow raise for a non-SEC team schedule. There could be SEC teams that eventually fall into that with the way that the schedule breaks down right now with how big the conference has gotten.
Okay, you're going to love this as an Indiana guy. One of my early season predictions, first overall draft pick next May, Fernando Mendoza.
I like it. Look, what he did at Cal last year was largely unnoticed. He had this great comeback win against Stanford, and he had this emotional moment in the post-game presser, and you're like, oh, man, isn't it great to see college athletics like this? And isn't it nice to see like the pride that they have for the school? And then he's like, oh, well, NFL draft time's coming. I don't want Brian Harsin to determine my NFL future. I'm going to go to Indiana. I actually don't know if that lined up exactly that. He might have been in the portal beforehand, but what was added to Harsin's tab, that's fine. And you realize like what Curt Cignetti has done in a very short period of time, in my very unbiased opinion, is give that guys that type of platform. You have a guy in Elijah Surratt who comes in as one of the best returning receivers in all of college football. You have another favorable schedule, and you kind of look up and go, well, yeah, that might be my best path to the NFL. Number 1 overall pick might be Rich if we get into the Indiana football history with draft picks. But look, I don't hate it because I do like Fernando Mendoza a lot.
Yeah, that's very interesting. How much do you like the Hugh Freeze, John Cohen message that we've heard on the show already from Auburn about everyone else is doing it one way, we read it this way, we think that we're going to be there at the end recruiting the right way, that other people are not going to be able to meet some of the offers they make. Do you think by the time we get to December, Auburn will have to pivot and go to do it the way everyone else is doing it, or will something happen to sort of correct these other schools who are quote unquote out recruiting Auburn right now?
I hate it. I hate it for the fans. I hate it for the one of the most passionate SEC programs that we have here, that they're being sold something that is entirely hopium. It is entirely hopium. And if everybody else is doing it wrong and you're about to be the team to do it right, buddy, you had better do it right, because if you don't, heads will roll. That's the way that this works. And I'm not the biggest John Cohen guy. I know you guys have talked to him. You guys were talking to him today. And I do wonder what the alignment really looks like. I wonder if there is enough booster support. I wonder if there are things that are happening behind the scenes that would suggest, this isn't entirely they're doing it their way and we're going to do it our way by the books. You're going to need to absolutely clean up if that's the case. Once this starts in, what is it, August that we're talking about here? We're getting these official contracts, whatever you want to call them. You had better be cleaning up. I think that right now Hugh Freeze is in such a tough spot, and he's put himself there, and that's why he's going to get people talking about his golf game and whatnot. So Yeah, look, it's a very tough time to be an Auburn Tiger fan.
Connor O'Gara with us Saturday Down South. Great podcast. Interviews a lot of college football coaches and players. At CJ O'Gara on social media is where you follow him. Can you remember an athletic director showing up to SEC Media Days before?
Nope.
I can't either.
Nope. And
we've been doing a lot of these. I cannot remember another time.
I'm trying to think when last year, did we get a Texas AD? Was Joe Castiglione here?
I don't think so. I don't think those guys showed up. The only one I can remember, and this somebody jogged my memory earlier because I asked them off the show. I don't 100% remember this. I kind of remember it, but Ross Bjork apparently showed up in 01.
Yes.
And he was trying to do damage control in the front end of Texas coming to the league.
21. Yeah. That was the one that I was trying to remember, and I wasn't sure if that was entirely true. I think you're right about that. And Ross Bjork, who's now obviously at Ohio State, no longer there, and that's not necessarily his thing. But yeah, I mean, I was right by where John Cohen was as Hugh Freeze was doing like his ESPN car wash and all that stuff. And just seeing John Cohen sitting there with Ross Dellinger for like 45 minutes, you're like, oh, wonder what's going on there.
I mean, it feels like Dunaway called it kind of a solidarity movement, a show of support. And that's fine. I just can't ever remember it happening. It's kind of weird to me.
It's weird. And not as weird as Brian Harsin having to come here like he did in 22 and talk about how awkward it got with the coup. But it's still, it's weird. It's weird vibes all around, and they can deny it all they want. I'm sure when Hugh Freeze speaks here in like a half hour, we're going to hear about everything's fine. Literally the column that I'm writing, I'll even tell you guys this will be coming out on Saturday Down South like later today, is I'm not buying what Hugh Freeze is selling at this point, and that's a problem.
Is there anything you feel great about going into this season for the SEC prediction wise?
Wow, that's sort of a undercoating of LT thinks you're gloom and doom on everything SEC.
Yeah, that's
is there anything
negativity.
Is there anything you like there? So you're a mainstream media guy?
Well, until you got to the SEC part, I was going to say I feel great about my health.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wow.
So, no, but like if you were to say, hey, man, I think Arch Manning is not only going to be the first team all SEC quarterback, I think the guy is going to win the Heisman. I'm just saying, is there anything that you're locked in on that you feel great about this year?
LSU.
Okay.
LSU. I feel great about LSU.
Dunaway too.
I
used to national champion right there.
I've been on record for 2 months saying LSU's winning a national championship. So
Alabama is.
Yeah. Now the Ryan Grubb reunion, I feel really good about. That would be one of those things I would put up there and say, yep, I'm gonna bet on that being a better version than what we saw last year. I would bet on DJ Lagway being freaking awesome as long as he can stay healthy. I would bet on that Texas defense being the best in college football if it's right. Like there are a lot of positives and still a lot of questions. I would bet on Austin Simmons being really fun to watch, but that's kind of going to be more of a game-to-game thing. What's he going to get helped defensively? I think Lenore Sellers, if he can get the right offensive coordinator with Mike Shula, which we don't know. I mean, I don't need to tell Alabama fans, but life and times of Mike Shula.
They're well aware. They've seen that offense.
We'll see, but there are a lot of things to feel good about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There you go. Positive mainstream media guy.
I like it.
I just try and bring the positivity. I feel good about more than just my health. I feel good about the world. I don't know.
Okay, gun to head, more wins.
Can you take the gun away from my
head?
No,
gun to head.
It's not loaded.
All right, good.
More wins, Indiana or Auburn?
Indiana. Come on, the schedule sets up so well.
Indiana, Florida.
That's a better one. I'm going to go Florida because we can't have nice things. We can't have nice things. I've said it before. I'll say it again. A 2-year thing does not happen at Indiana. It doesn't. As much as we just talked about Fernando Mendoza, I like the schedule. I think Cignetti's different. But I'll give Florida that edge. Florida's got like 4 guys right now on the offensive and defensive line that are being mocked in the first round. When was the last time that happened? Like Urban Meyer era?
Oh, they're going to beat Texas in September. Oh, that's another one real quick.
That's okay.
Not to make it all about me, but I do think Texas. I think Texas is going to be 3-2 when they meet up with undefeated Oklahoma. October 11th.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, but don't know. You focused on undefeated Oklahoma. 3-2 Texas.
Is that a story?
No, because they're going to lose Ohio State.
Okay.
And then if they lose
at Florida.
Oh, that's not crazy. No, that's not crazy. I think Texas is a 10-2 or 9-3 team this year, even though I would argue that they should start number 1 in college football. I think they have some really difficult matchups. And I think with this offense, while the ceiling is definitely higher with what Arch is going to be able to do, I think game to game, it could be a little bit tougher. They're going to have to win some of these games ugly, a 21-17 type game. And it could be a little bit more of a tough go with a group that's got 4 or 5 new starters on the offensive line, a lot of new pieces at wide receiver, even though we really like Ryan Wingo, DeAndre Moore Jr. But this could be a Texas start that has some going, maybe they're not quite all that they were, talked up to be.
All right, he is Connor O'Gara at CJ O'Gara on social media, where you find a lot of his work. Saturday Down South as well. Friend of the show, always fun talking.
I was going to ask you one more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that okay?
I love LT's question.
Early wrap by me.
So I asked Josh Pate best movie ever filmed in Atlanta earlier.
Can we make that part of our Michelson viewing menu? Tell us about Michelson laser vision.
Look at that.
And answer that a little bit.
I need time to think.
That'll keep us on the clock.
Hey, heard his name.
205-969-8100, the number that I called back in 2003. I had the 2200 vision. Didn't even realize I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the Next Round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com. So I asked Pate, best movie ever filmed in Atlanta. But going back to Bloomington, did you like the movie Breaking Away?
Breaking Away is great. It's a cult classic.
Have you guys ever seen it?
Not movie.
Nope.
Great.
Dennis Quaid.
Early Dennis Quaid.
Jackie Earl Haley, who played, he was the Kelly in Bad News Bears.
Oh, gosh. Now we're talking before my time. I was born in 1990. The fact that I can get a Breaking Away reference is
okay.
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Best Atlanta movie was the 1996 Olympics because it became a movie. And think of all the different things that we had a bomb go off.
Right.
It became
right out here.
Yes.
Literally right out the front door.
The 1996 Olympics were an action movie that we got to see play out in real time. That is like one of those.
But have you seen Jules, the movie?
I've not seen Jules, the movie.
Paul Walker Hauser, he's getting a lot of roles now. Big guy, looked like Richard Jewell. We were talking about this story the other day, though, and I don't know if you remember this. He was the guy that they pinned everything on, and he later got exonerated.
I haven't seen the movie. I've seen there was like a 30 for 30 on it that I saw.
There was a billboard, though. It was Classic Rock 96 Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it had Richard Jewell's picture, and it just said Freebird.
That's pretty good.
That is really good, isn't it?
Pretty awesome.
Freebird.
Yeah. By the way, according to AI, Driving Miss Daisy filmed here
in Atlanta.
Ironically, Selma filmed here in Atlanta. In most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Black Panther, Captain America Civil War, and others.
I can't get into the comic book thing either.
I can't. I just can't. Like Batman is as far as I'll go with that stuff.
He's a Chicago guy. I thought you were going to ask him best movie filmed in Chicago. It's The Fugitive, right?
I mean, The Fugitive, Breakfast Club. I mean, all the John Hughes stuff. Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller is one.
Yeah,
Ferris Bueller is definitely one.
See, I'm Breakfast Club more than Ferris Bueller. I love both, but I mean, The Fugitive's hard to beat.
Hard to beat The Fugitive. That's a great movie.
That's true.
You guys are totally mispronouncing About Last Night. The Demi Moore classics.
My friend Dunaway.
Some good rom-coms. Oh, we want to talk rom-com. How about While You Were Sleeping, the most underrated Sandra Bullock movie ever made? That's not the best Chicago movie ever. We're just talking underrated rom-com.
Are you a big rom-com guy too?
So terrible.
Yes.
What song are you singing at the media challenge karaoke this year?
Is that
if there is one, which is usually on Wednesday night. If there
y'all lose T-Bob. Y'all lose T-Bob, and all of that.
Not just T-Bob.
All of a sudden, it's falling apart.
It's Barrett Lee as well.
Now Barrett's covering baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Barrett and T-Bob are they're kind of the glue that hold this thing together. I've been pushing John Neighbors and Chris Gordy to be able to hey guys, let's get this going. We need to make sure that we got it for Wednesday night. TBD. It's not looking great. Well, if I can sing on Wednesday night, it will be Springsteen by Eric Church.
Going country.
I always go country.
Are you familiar with the Virginia Highlands area here?
Mm-mm.
There used to be a thing, I think it was called like the Dark Horse, but they did karaoke's on Tuesday night with a band.
Oh, so, yeah. That's what that's what they've talked about doing.
Okay.
Is going with the band.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that band was really, I cannot believe I'm playing for this guy.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure, though. I mean, you got to be good.
Can they just like drown me out? Like,
I know.
Spring, I can imitate Eric Church well enough. I mean, he's not the most like vocally challenging guy to imitate in a karaoke setting. I'm not getting up there and doing.
Are you going to wear your shades indoors like him?
I mean, look, they got bright lights. You got to
That's
protect
right.
against
Got to protect
it.
the bulbs.
You know, it's totally not just a look at all whatsoever. Take on the persona. I got no problem with it. Eric Church is great.
All right. Can I rap now?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
you can. And that guy that I was talking about.
Same thing. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Same thing I said earlier. Connor O'Gara at CJ O'Gara on social media. Thank you, Connor. Always good to see you, my friend.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Always good.
All right, more of the Michelson viewing menu with Tyler back in the studio. Tyler, what else are you watching other than these great films that we just named?
All right, we got a new Netflix documentary, since there's one just about every day, called Balloon Boy. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this story, where a sort of inventor type guy, he was an entrepreneur, built a large weather balloon, and the story was that his 6-year-old son had crawled in it right before the balloon took off and went across the country. So
we had it on track.
Yep. I remember well. Wild story.
This will be the full story on that situation, because there's a lot of it that people don't know. And I think it's really interesting to see this father get exonerated after so many years. Just due to
I am terrified of, well, first of all, I don't like heights.
Right.
But you could never get me in a hot air balloon. No chance.
I've been in one. Do not recommend. Not a fan of the hot air balloon. Been in one and will never go back in another one.
Yeah, I almost would jump out of a plane before I would get in a hot air.
You been in one?
I've done it twice for local television, both times live on the air, and for morning television, and neither one were a lot of fun. We actually had a problem with one over on that back road that connects from our offices out to Acton Road.
Mm-hmm.
We were flying over that, and we needed to be close to the top of that office building over there that we'd launched from, so we could do the live shot. And somehow we started to lose whatever keeps us up. And
hot air.
And we started going down, and he was aiming for that little lake. He said it'd be better than us to get caught in the trees.
Oh wow! So he was making a crash.
Yeah. But luckily, we were able to fire up the flame again and start pumping whatever we're pumping into the.
Is it
the hot air
in there in the basket?
I mean, the basket's not the problem with me. The problem is, and this should come as no surprise, that flame thing's hot.
Yeah,
like you're just hot up there. It's like.
Yeah. I mean, it turned out it was important to us staying in the air.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've got to have the flame to keep you in air. It's not fun.
Yeah, because when that wasn't working well, our Bic lighter was running out. We were starting to
do not recommend
to drift slowly to the planet. What else you got, Tyler?
We've also got a new addition to Prime Video. This is a movie I've been meaning to watch. It's called Uncharted. It's an adaptation of the video game series, sort of like a modern take on Indiana Jones, I guess. It's about a guy named Nathan Drake, who's a treasure hunter, and he gets recruited by another treasure hunter who's more experienced to recover the fortune of Ferdinand Magellan, lost for 500 years. And this movie stars Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, and Antonio Banderas.
Lance just gave it.
Yeah, look, if you want, I know they're hard to find, terrible Mark Wahlberg movies, but this is another one.
Anything else, Tyler?
That's all I got.
That's all I got. That's all Lance could destroy.
I mean, I took Jack to see it at the theater a couple of years ago, and it was awful.
That's our Michelson's viewing menu, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. One more big thing before we get to the top of the hour. Always brought to you here at SEC Media Days by our friends at Orlando Health. We're having a lot of fun here, thanks to Orlando Health.
Yeah, that's right. They are the fun healthcare company.
Yeah.
We're the fun show, right?
Yeah, our friends at Baptist Health now in Birmingham.
Yeah, Orlando Health and Baptist Health celebrating a new day in healthcare. And through this partnership, we'll advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of individuals in the communities we live in and they serve. Baptist Health is Central Alabama's only private, not-for-profit, faith-based healthcare system dedicated to providing high-quality, accessible care for the communities of Central Alabama. And our coverage here at SEC Media Days presented exclusively by our friends at Baptist Health.
There is a question LT likes to ask, and it's, does your school have your best coach ever? And he has asked that question again this week. And today we're sitting here with Hugh Freeze, Kirby Smart, Josh Heupel, Steve Sarkisian here. How many of those have their best coach ever?
Georgia, 100%.
That's it. You're there. You're done.
Yeah.
So you put Kirby over Vince Dooley.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Vince Dooley did win one national championship. Kirby's got two, and Vince won a lot of games. If Kirby keeps going, he'll catch and pass Vince Dooley.
This is going to sound idiotic. When Hugh took the job, I would have said he's got a shot because Pat Dye's that guy.
Yeah.
And they haven't gotten it right since Pat Dye. Say what you want about 2010 and Gus here and there.
Yeah.
But I thought Hugh
had an opportunity to do some special things. And
if you listen to our soundbite, part of our Baptist Health coverage over on our social media, John Cohen, the athletic director, in that soundbite says a lot of people would have punted Bruce Pearl to the curb after 2 years.
I don't know how many people would have done that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's nice.
Auburn basketball and football completely different, and Bruce had such a track record.
Yeah, Bruce.
Hugh's got a good track record, but
Bruce had a better track record than Hugh Freeze.
How about this? If Sark wins 2 of the next 5, does he pass Darryl Royal?
2
or Mac Brown.
2 would be Darryl Royal.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Beating Mac Brown, I think, is.
You think Mac Brown's the number 1 guy?
In my opinion, yes. His name's not on the stadium, but Mac Brown won one and played for another. If it wasn't for the Colt injury, had a chance to win a second one.
Mac Brown just reminded me of Mark Richt. Just seemed like there was just a lot more there. Yeah. There should have been more championships. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I can see a comparison to Mark Richt. I mean, that's not an awful thing. Richt was a really good coach.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think he
left on the bone.
B+ coach.
Yeah, Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin, Shane Beamer, Clark Lee yesterday.
I mean, LSU you can't because of Saban. Lane Kiffin, yeah.
Yeah, I think Kiffin could be the best coach in Ole Miss.
Beamer could be the best coach. I mean,
that's a low bar in South Carolina.
That's Steve Spurrier, though. Like, how do you look at Spurrier? Do you think
if he wins a championship, if he wins an SEC championship, he beats Spurrier?
Yeah, well, that's a big if too.
Spurrier didn't do that. DeBoer, Napier, Levy, and Venables tomorrow. No way on DeBoer.
There's no way on any of those.
I mean, if DeBoer gets to be third, he's done something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you're considered third,
he could be.
Is it Gene Stallings?
No, I mean, it depends on how much credit you give, like the Frank Thomases and Wallace Wades back in the day.
I'd probably go Stallings though, but maybe it's Frank Thomas.
No, but you're right. You could be ultra successful and be like
Kalen DeBoer could be the 3rd greatest coach in college football history,
right?
And 3rd at Alabama at the same time.
That is true. Yes.
I mean, is that not your goal? Is Jimmy Alabama is to have the Mount Rushmore of college coaches, all Bama?
I think it's pretty cool having 2.
No, but tomorrow there's no shot of any of those guys.
Napier,
no shot.
Yeah, Napier's not going to pass Spurrier.
No. Or Meyer. At best, he could be 3rd.
Yeah, Venables, Levy, Pittman, Stoops, Eli, Elko.
I mean,
Elko has the best shot.
I mean, Stoops at Kentucky, like Bear Bryant was there forever ago.
I mean, Drinkwitz. Look, I love the job that who was our man? Yeah, Gary Pinker.
Yeah, you're big on him.
But I mean, Drinkwitz, you can't deny what he's doing right now.
I think we got to the bottom of it. A little favorable scheduling, according to Connor.
I mean, if you can get away with scheduling like that in the SEC, good luck.
Yeah. Bojangles gets us to the top of the hour, 2 hours down. Don't forget all of our content streaming over at Next Round Live on any platform you can imagine. Go see extra coverage there, even when the live show ends today. Bojangles bringing you part of the show today.
From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces, definitely adding a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard or add some Tango barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
And this is SEC Media Days from the College Football Hall of Fame, presented by Baptist Health.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Heupel Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Heupel are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Heupel Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Heupel Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, Tim, and everybody, Tyler, everyone back there at the studios as we roll here from SEC Media Days presented by our friends at Baptist Health. Tim, I'm going to do a little bit of the producing on the air. Can we get Jackson Arnold ready to go first? We'll do it absolutely opposite of what I told you in the commercial break. This hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. That's where you get Champy's Chicken. Sterling and the crew there gives you the opportunity to jump in and enjoy a great lunch and a lot of stuff there, including the wonderful sides, the chicken's brined overnight, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It is champy'schicken.com. Run by and see Sterling and the crew there. Earlier, we had a chance to talk to Jackson Arnold. He's the Auburn quarterback, and we want to give you a chance to hear part of our conversation there. So let's bring in the quarterback. Here's Jackson Arnold from earlier today.
All right, we continue from SEC Media Days in Atlanta. Our coverage presented by Baptist Health. Jackson Arnold is the Auburn quarterback, and he is with us now. Welcome in, Jackson. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. I would say it's surreal. You weren't here with Oklahoma last year, but to be here with Auburn this year is maybe surreal for some people. I don't know if it is for you.
Yeah, no, it's a different experience for sure.
Your coach told us he did personality tests for everybody. Did you learn something about yourself?
No, it really wasn't learning. I guess a little bit more exposing what your personality is like, more so than learning. I felt like everything that I did it on my visit, on my OV. Like one morning, it took me like 40 minutes one morning. Like while I was like in my hotel room. He's like, "Do this before you come up." Well, okay. So I did.
So what was it like? What were some of the questions? I mean,
I don't even remember. It was just personality testing and seeing if, I guess he has like a database or a company he goes through, and they put together all this data and see if, you know, if you're a potential fit or not. So I guess I was.
It seems so, yeah.
You know, I sit and watched last year, and I had to ask you the first time I meet you, in your whole life, had you ever seen as many injuries as your team had last year in Norman? It's just something you can't control. It just seemed like every week you face something different.
Yeah, no, I haven't. And it was a shame, honestly. I thought we had a really good team going into last year, and I told everybody that. It just sucks. You know, injuries happen. It's out of our control. It's only in God's control. And, you know, unfortunately for us, we were plagued by injuries, and that's kind of the tell of the season. Obviously, we didn't play how we wanted to play, but I think injuries were a big part to that. But, you know, I also don't want to make excuses for what happened last year. But it sucked to see all those dudes go down.
As a leader, do you carry that into your new location now at Auburn and preach to the younger guys how important the 2s and the 3s are on that depth chart, that it really is a team effort?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think the freshman class we got in really understands that already. I didn't have to tell Deuce to, you know, kind of prepare each week and prepare how he does. He kind of came in with that mindset, and that's what I really respect and appreciate about Deuce is he came in, you know, not slacking off and, you know, not acting like a big-time 5-star freshman. You know, he came in wanting to work and, you know, knowing that, you know, depth on this team is important. You know, I could go down at any point, and he could be thrown in. Cam Coleman could go down. Eric could go down. We have receivers that are ready to step up and be behind those guys.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that receiver room. Yeah. Any quarterback loves a good receiver room, and this one's got some talent in it.
Yeah, they're special for sure. I mean, you got dudes like Eric and Malcolm that can absolutely go. You get dudes like Cam and Horatio. You can go and high point any ball possible. They showed me a lot this spring. And the one thing I love about them too is they love to work. Like it's not a group that, you know, will sit by and only do 7-on-7 when we're supposed to. Like I got Cam texting me at 8:30 at night wanting to throw like damn near every night.
Yeah.
Like, dude, chill out a second. I got to rest my arm too, but that they want to work and they're hungry, and that's what I love about them. And, you know, they're also young, so they'll learn as they get older that maybe they can't go at 8:30 every night. But
like you're talking like an old man.
I know. Well, I know, but like they're hungry to work, and I respect that, and I love that about them, and that's why, you know, I feel like they're already so good, and they have that potential to be so much better too.
You're going to play in the game this year, but growing up a football fan, how much did you watch the Iron Bowl? Did you know anything about it?
I remember watching the Kick Six.
Yeah.
Watching that live.
Is that still maybe the wildest play you've ever seen?
Yeah, by far. It's got to be.
With the implications and everything involved.
I couldn't think of, honestly, like off the top of my head, I couldn't think of anything else. Maybe Auburn, Georgia. And
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before. Yeah. That's what's crazy. Yeah.
That was 2 weeks before.
Yeah. Same season.
And I was actually I grew up a Georgia fan. I grew up just north of Atlanta. And so I was watching that game, and I'm like, I couldn't believe that was happening. It was unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, Auburn, Alabama has always been a huge rivalry, and, you know, even last year when I was at OU when we played Alabama, like it was like we still wanted to beat them bad. Like I kind of felt like that, not that hatred, but like, man, this is a big game. Like, you know, Alabama's a big team. You know, always been coached by Nick Saban. I know he wasn't there last year, but they had a dynasty when he was there, and I'm like, man, I don't care who's coaching them right now. Like, I still want to beat Bama. Like, they're still that team. They still got those dudes out there, and I kind of felt a little bit of that last year. And I'm excited to be, you know, on the Auburn side of it this year, going into that game. So I think it'll be really fun.
He's Auburn quarterback Jackson Arnold. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Good to catch up with you.
Thank you.
And that's our conversation earlier, brought to you in part today by our friend Dr. B.
Dr. B, best in the business. Look, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe you're starting to thin out a little bit, you need to be preemptive. You need to maintain what you've got, grow some back. Speaking from experience, we started this venture 4 years ago in August. I noticed I was thinning out a little bit. I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone mentioned. Went to see him and his great staff. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week on the couch, 30 minutes each time. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. T3's got that new test. It's painless. painless. It's easy. It takes seconds to perform. For more information, go online. Go to t3hair.net.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama can help you guys stay on top of your health. Wonderful folks over there. They've been with us for a very long time trying to educate you guys on just how important early detection is. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. 16 locations right there in Central Alabama. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Check them out. Schedule an appointment. Wonderful folks there. 35 urologists. So stay on top of your health right there with Urology Centers, Alabama.com. All right, Brandon, what did you think of the Jackson Arnold interview?
Number one, funny that even he was surprised kick six and the prayer of Jordan Hare was 2 weeks apart. It is, I mean, when you live through it, you remember that. But when you hear that, you're like, God, I cannot believe those two things happened 2 weeks apart. You're encouraged, I think, if you're an Auburn fan, hearing the fact that your starting quarterback says Cam Coleman basically won't leave him alone, that he wants to be throwing at all hours and be out on that field together. That doesn't necessarily, I'm going to say that makes you a 9 or 10 win team, but those are the types of things you want to hear about your quarterback and probably your best player on offense in Cam Coleman.
Well, having those receivers make quarterbacks better.
Right.
But I do feel, I don't know why, I feel confident in saying I think this is going to be the best quarterback play they've had since Nick Marshall.
So that would, I think we've talked about this before.
That goes back a decade.
That would put it in front of Jarrett Stidham. Is that where and Bo Nix?
So Bo, it's hard to separate now when we see Bo.
NFL starter.
Because he was so freaking good at Oregon, and then he was so good his rookie season in Denver. But yeah, the Bo at Auburn was so inconsistent. Yeah, I think that this is going to be more consistency with these weapons he's got.
And I'm not sold. I think a lot of people are sold that this is the guy that puts Auburn over the top. I'm not sold on that yet. I'm going to need to see it, and I'll apologize if I'm wrong, but I do feel like it is going to be improved quarterback play, Jim, over Peyton Thorne, but that is a bit of a low bar. I don't know if I'm ready to go as far as Lance is and say it was better than what you got, at times from Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix, but I do think it's going to be improved. You're going to be better at offensive line. You're going to be better at receiver, and I think you'll be better at quarterback. And that is, you put all those things together, and it should at least be an improved offense, and I think you got faith in the defense. Which Keldrick Falk said downstairs is the best in the country, or they think it'll be the best in the country by the end of the year.
Okay, let's do that soundbite here then, since you bring that up. Just put it in the system there, Tim. I think that's going to be cut number 8 or 9. It's Keldrick Falk that is in there. And Brownie letting you know, he made a big statement earlier today. Here is the Auburn big defensive star setting up some high bar for the Auburn Tigers.
I feel like our defense could be the best in the country, in my opinion. We have so many guys that played last year that was young, especially in our secondary. Our secondary was containing mostly freshmen and second-year guys. So I feel like everybody has another year under them, and really that's another year of maturity. So I do expect a lot out of our whole defense. Yeah, we should, at the end of the year, be the best defense in the country.
Well, we always have this discussion. What do you go by when you measure that? There are a lot of statistics defensively. There's a total defense. There's rushing. There's passing. We've always said what's the most important thing in football is what the score says. So we go scoring defense on this show, right? Scoring defense last year, Auburn was middle of the conference, number 8, right in the middle at 21.3 a game. Not terrible in today's college football. But with Auburn's offense, that was not near enough. They had to be better than that.
So let's say, so to put in perspective, Ole Miss had the second overall total defense.
Scoring defense.
Total defense.
Okay, well, scoring defense too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And they were 3rd in sacks, 3rd in tackles for loss. But, what did it ultimately mean?
When they needed it, they couldn't get Florida off the field. And when they had to have it, that's why stats are so misleading.
But if I would have told you a first-round quarterback with the number 1 or number 2 defense in college football, you would have been, with that schedule, they're in the college football playoff, right? But they weren't.
But scoring defense, just see the common thread in these teams. Ohio State, number 1, Texas, number 3, Notre Dame, number 4, Indiana, number 6, Tennessee, number 7, Penn State, number 8. You saw all those teams in the playoffs. So, that's the level you'll have to be considered the best in the country. And to do that, they would have to shave somewhere 5, 6, 7 points a game off that total. If you can do that, Jackson Arnold doesn't have to be that much better than what you got out of Peyton Thorne if you play defense that way.
Before we do 4 downs, LT, explain to me the backpack over there. Is that a handler walking around with a backpack? You see it over there, Georgia, number 3.
Oh,
I just saw that.
Is that everybody's backpack? How does that work in there?
Dunaway, I wish I could come up with an answer for you. This is robot stuff, man. I don't know what's going on. Our technology.
It's a SEC Media Day specialty backpack with a screen on it for I don't know why. This seems like an exorbitant expense for no reason.
And something that I wouldn't want to wear.
I wonder if it's just an iPad that's crammed in there, but that is a weird look.
Yeah.
What did you?
Well, I'm just saying he's walking around with a Georgia player.
So it goes from Georgia logo to the SEC. It just means more.
To the number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird.
It's interesting. I mean, I guess truly the SEC programs have all the money in the world.
Yeah.
We're just going to do electronic backpacks now.
4 downs brought to you by our friends at Heupel Services today. Tell us about Heupel's. Hot and cold out there.
Yeah, call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there, 205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues or home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, HempelServices.com.
First down.
More wins. The combination of UCLA and the Titans or the Tennessee Volunteers?
UCLA, because that's where Nico is now. Put them at, I think they get 6.
I think they're 6 or 7.
Yeah. I put the Titans at 6. And 5 on the Titans, 11. I'm going to take the combo over the Tennessee Vols.
I would too. I think Tennessee is an 8. Again, if they win 9 games this year, that would be a pretty good year for Heupel, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You heard Josh Pate earlier in our show. Josh had and I think other folks also have, but Josh specifically had a thought on what Josh Heupel was facing this year without Nico and just a rebuild anyway, even if Nico had stayed. And you go see that as part of our Baptist Health coverage here on wherever you get your podcasts, including the audio on Apple and Spotify. I would say Tennessee getting to 9 wins with their quarterback room and the situation they're in would be a hell of a coaching job by Josh Heupel. Yes.
Second down.
More wins, the Auburn Tigers or the Atlanta Falcons? Forrester loves this question.
Forrester giving us a look. I don't know which one he thinks.
Forrester, you take 10 for both?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah. You feel more like 10 combo?
Whoa.
Oh.
Dunaway. Wow. Why do that to Scotty? Over there working hard for it.
Is that what it was last year?
I think the Falcons are 8 or 9.
I was going to say the same thing, 8 or 9 for Atlanta, and I think Auburn 7 or 8, personally.
Yeah.
I guess I would go Atlanta in that situation. They got 17 versus, whatever Auburn plays, 12.
Yeah, I mean, how good is Michael Penix going to be? I think he's going to be good.
How good is Jackson Arnold going to be?
They've rolled out a lot of Michael Penix and Michael Vick together here. There's some signage and a lot of that being promotional stuff in Atlanta, trying to wake up the echoes for the Falcons and the fan base here. I've seen those two on billboards here in town and sort of trying to get back to that fun style of football they had.
Speaking of the billboards, I brought up the Richard Jewell, 96 Rock. My buddy Scott Banks, who's listening to Missouri, said 96 Rocks also did a Jeff George billboard with Tom Petty, "Don't come around here no more."
Yeah. No, those were iconic billboards. I used to love them. I love them. I was trying to think of a couple of more.
Don't come around here no more.
Yeah, that was a great marketing campaign they had there. Let's do third down.
Third down.
More total touchdowns this season. Gunnar Stockton with Georgia or Carson Beck in Miami?
I will go Carson Beck in Miami. Part of that, too, is I think, we've seen this with Miami of late. They just fired Lance Guidry in the offseason, the defensive coordinator, because their defense is so bad. And they've had to score points. And I think the pressure on Miami to score points will keep them foot on the gas offensively. There's a lot of times where Georgia, because of their defense is so good, they get in these big lead games where they just go to clock milk, right? And Miami doesn't get to do that a lot. So I'll go Carson Beck for that.
Yeah, Carson Beck easy because of style of play with Kirby Smart.
Fourth down.
That was a very brief recap of what I just said. It was very.
There's nothing else to say.
Actually, I think Gunnar Stockton's got some weapons. I think these are the best weapons Georgia's had since 2022. Conor McGregor, 38 years old yesterday.
ultimately better career, Arch Manning or Conor McGregor?
Well, I would have said Conor McGregor was a lot older than 32.
38.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 years.
I was putting him about 38. I thought you said 32. So 38 for Conor McGregor. I'd say when it's all said and done, Arch Manning will have a better career.
Oh, wow. I would go Conor McGregor.
Yeah, well, I just think one.
Yeah, I mean, if Arch is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Football is uberly.
Yeah, that's right.
Uber more popular than MMA.
So if you summarize Conor McGregor's career in one sentence, you would say Conor McGregor, who is the
owner of Bad Whiskey.
I would say the most popular MMA fighter of all time.
Okay.
I think he transcends the sport.
I do not think Arch will be the most famous NFL player or quarterback, or probably even Manning of all time.
Yeah.
But to your point, if he goes to a Super Bowl, plays a Super Bowl, that carries a lot more weight than MMA.
Yeah. Even if he wins a national championship at Texas, I think probably, in my opinion, would be Conor McGregor. That is our 4 downs today. Brought to you in part by our friends at Heupel. As we continue on, quick break here. We'll get to a lot of other stuff coming up on the other side, including trash, but an early break here. Show being brought to you by our friends at Orlando Health. All of our coverage here from SEC Media Days.
That's right. They are the exclusive sponsor of our SEC Media Days coverage, our friends at Baptist Health. Baptist Health is Alabama's largest primary care network with 70 primary care clinics as well as specialty care, approximately 2,600 employed and affiliated physicians, and more than 7,000 team members. In partnership with Orlando Health, Baptist Health is celebrating a new day in healthcare, and through this partnership will advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of the individuals and communities we live in and communities they serve. Baptist Health and Orlando Health, a new day in healthcare in Alabama.
When we come back, more SEC football conversation from the College Football Hall of Fame and LT's trash, some weird things happening in the world, all that here on the next round.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout Central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you at the College Football Hall of Fame, and we continue our coverage of SEC Media Days, and Brown has a special helmet here.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to the College Football Hall of Fame, the first thing you see when you walk in the lobby, which is to our right, is a wall of helmets, and they tell me there are about 750 helmets on that wall, and they represent all the college football teams in America, and they also have some alternate helmets that are worn that they keep in storage, and they even told you they got some leather helmets back there, right?
Yeah, plenty of them.
Yeah, so this is, as you know, our coverage this week is sponsored by Baptist Health, Orlando Health, and Baptist Health. It's a new day in healthcare, and our friends at Orlando Health, obviously based down in Central Florida, did a cool event during the month of September at the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital. Arnold and Winnie Palmer were great philanthropists, not only a great golfer, but were very generous, and they established a children's hospital there in Orlando, and they let the kids design some UCF logos, color the UCF logos, and they surprised the kids, all of whom were cancer patients, by using some of the logos on their helmets. So you can see this one with some very vivid colors, the red and the blue, the yellow, and then this one, I don't know if you can see the design, but it's got a cool roller coaster design on the inside of the UCF logo. And they wore these during a game. So just a really, really cool event. It shows you the type of people that are at Orlando Health that now are part of Baptist Health. And this is just, it's really neat. And it's kind of full circle for us being here with them, being our exclusive sponsor, but this also being in the Hall of Fame here.
Okay,
yeah.
we have gotten an invitation to do a show from the Bounce House with our friends at Orlando Health.
Who they playing?
I mean, look, we could do North Carolina. They play Kansas at home.
Okay.
I mean, Big 12 football.
Yeah. It's always exciting.
Always exciting down there. And great looking helmet there. Part of the experience you get here at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta during SEC Media Days week when you're over in town. Swing by the College Football Hall of Fame. Before we get to trash, a couple more things that we want to talk about what's going on downstairs in SEC Media Days. The coverage being brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling.
Company Distilling, again, a bourbon this good needs to be shared with great company. You can pick up Company Distilling throughout the state of Alabama now, also available South Carolina, Florida, Georgia. If you're looking for a road destination this summer, 3 distilleries to visit in the state of Tennessee. Stop in, enjoy a great flight, and that great bourbon, it's Company Distilling.
All right, so before we get to trash, you asked the question to start the week, LT, and it's time to answer the question. How many SEC programs, different ones, win national championships in the next 5 years?
So the Big Ten's on a heater. We've got back-to-back
right
with Michigan and Ohio State. I think Georgia will win one. I think Alabama will win one. Texas, LSU, 4 of the next 5 different teams.
Will be from the SEC.
Yeah.
Well, you just gave it to at least one guy you don't think usually can deliver in a big game, but you just gave one to Sark.
I mean, if he doesn't.
I noticed that, right?
But you know what? Mac Brown, I mean, I don't know what his big game numbers were. I would guess they weren't great. I could be completely wrong on this. But when you get these resources that just pile up, sooner or later it ends in a championship.
I think Stoops was 9-6 in Red River against Mac. So he was 3 in the rivalry game down in the big rivalry game.
But I mean, hell, those Oklahoma teams were always top 5.
Yeah. I mean, if your stat is right, I mean, it speaks very highly of the SEC, first of all, the depth of the SEC, right?
But I mean, this wouldn't have sounded crazy 5 years ago if I was the SEC is about to win 4 or 5. It sounds a little crazy now just because where does Ohio State and Oregon and
But you're giving Ohio State the other one, I assume.
yeah, I guess. Why not?
I mean,
Clemson maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to give it to anybody else in the Big Ten, even though we've seen Michigan win one recently.
If I just said this, the over-under on SEC teams to win national championships in the next 5 years, 3.5.
I'd probably bet the under. I'd like 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a tough bet, though.
3's a lot, though. 3 or 5 is a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to trash.
There's just too many good programs in this conference and too many good coaches.
Yep. Before we get to trash, I want to remind you this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go see Sterling and the crew there. And also the show today being brought to you by Michelson Laser Vision LT, the best decision you made years ago.
205-969-8100. That is the number I called. Make the phone call today. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
I heard the row. I felt that row. I knew to keep it pushing. I knew that. After I see the people, I just see something big just walking, just right over here, right by the bush. It went right over there. I swear, I promise you, it went right over there. And it said row, and I just kept walking. I seen it, seen me, see it. So in my head, I'm like, nah, I gotta go, man. I'm out.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, whether you're heading to the lake, the beach, the pool this weekend. Pick up the cold, delicious taste of Bud Light. When you picture casinos, you likely think of brightly lit machines, tables covered in green felt, where games of chance are played as crowds cheer. You probably don't think about Uno, though, right?
Not at a casino.
Every time I think of Uno, it's with you.
He claims he's one of the best.
It's one of the few things I'm good at. Right. I haven't played in a long time, but Uno is now coming to Las Vegas. It said an estimated 80% of American households own Uno. You guys own Uno?
I've got Uno in the house, yes.
I do too. And in fact, the last place I stayed, I was up at Mentone. That family had Uno there, my brother-in-law. And somewhere else before I spent the night, and they had Uno as well.
So according to an article by Newsweek, Uno is going to be the main attraction at a dedicated suite in Sin City this week, with similar Uno venues planned nationwide.
I wouldn't play Uno in Vegas, though, I don't think.
Why so?
I have other things to do.
You got a better schedule in Vegas than Uno.
Yes.
I mean, what about in a casino? You wouldn't play in a casino?
They don't have casino games, do they?
Well, I think that's what he's saying, right?
Uno social clubs will open across the country later this year. Palms Casino Resort said in a press release, quote, experiences in bars, venues in major U.S. cities. Each event will transform everyday hotspots into the ultimate game night destination with Uno-themed drink menus, tournament-style play, photo moments, and more.
But I can gamble with Uno?
The announcement did not specify how the game will be played and whether or not you can win money with it.
Yeah, see, there's a difference.
The only way I guess you could gamble with Uno is to be the winner, right? I mean, it's just pretty much cut and dry.
Yeah,
I don't know any other way you can gamble on it. Is you're the last one standing.
So a motorcyclist was busted yesterday for speeding and reckless driving after a Florida cop spotted him riding hands-free with his, quote, arms outstretched like he was Jack on the Titanic, according to the arrest affidavit. It's one way to write it down. Police allege that Damon Hinkins, 34 years old, going 105 miles an hour when he mimicked Leonardo DiCaprio's I'm King of the World pose. Now, driving in a 55-mile-an-hour speed zone with other traffic present, Hinkins had both hands off the handlebars, according to this report. He was booked on site and freed on a $300 bond.
Better to be booked than scooped.
That is true. There are a lot of ways that could have gone. Getting arrested was one of the better ones, actually. Right?
When I was coming to meet you guys on Peachtree on Sunday night at the Vortex, there was a dude doing the wheel on the motorcycle. I know you guys saw it, but before that, and he had his helmet on top of his head. Like if he wrecked, the helmet was going to go flying off. I mean, it did him no good. Made no sense.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like wearing the helmets. They thrive in states that don't require it. I think Florida
moved to
does
Florida.
it.
Yeah, it looks weird when you're down there too, right?
Maybe California, but yeah, they choose not to wear the helmets. Helmets there for a reason, but very aggressive cyclists, scooters, and motorcycle riders here in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Police in Northeast Ohio looking for 3 women caught on camera twerking on a cruiser. Now, they've even turned to facial recognition technology to identify them. Dash camera video from the Richland Heights police cruiser shows multiple women twerking on the cruiser in June. One woman reportedly climbed up on the push bumper. Another even climbed onto the hood and began to dance on it. Police told WOIO that the cruiser sustained damage from the dancing, including a dent and, quote, pretty significant scratch. While working to identify the women, police turned to Northeast Ohio, their regional center. With the help, they were able to identify 2 of the 3 women using the facial recognition software Clearview AI. I think you were talking about the OJ situation.
I was last night again, in fact.
You're not going to be able to get away with crimes. I mean, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. But, I mean, we talked about it on the show. I can't remember why the OJ thing came back up. We were talking about how he never would have gotten away with it in today's world because he would have been on 8 million different videos. Every stop he made. And I think that is a good thing, right? I mean, we all hate Big Brother watching us, but it probably has reduced some crime, or at least made it easier to catch the criminals.
Okay, I'm going to put the percentage at 5%. You have a 5% chance of being cryogenically frozen and being brought back at some later date. Would you take it?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it. German startup, Tomorrow Bio, offering futuristic service. They're talking about turning immortality into reality. Literally. Company is offering the cryo preservation service, meaning they'll freeze your body after death in the future, bring it back. They're charging $200,000 for this.
I don't understand why anybody wants this.
I think guys that have so much power and so much money, like they almost believe they're immortal and they've got more to accomplish. And because they have all these assets, they want to live forever, i.e. Walt Disney, right?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we don't know that right now we don't have the medical technology for this to work, right?
Well, okay. So it says the body is cooled to an eye-watering minus 198 degrees. I would think it would just break in half, right? It enters a state called biostasis. In this state, all biological processes stop indefinitely, effectively putting the person in suspended animation until a future revival.
Yeah.
But if your soul's gone, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It has to work once for it to actually be. That's a theory.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's got to work once. They've never brought anybody back yet.
They have already cryopreserved 20 people and 10 pets. 3 of the people have come back to life. 1 of the pets.
3 people have not come back.
I was about to say.
Yeah, that would have been on the news.
Is the I would say so.
It would have been, yeah.
Did Disney debunk the fact that Disney's head is frozen cryogenically? Didn't they come out and say that is not true? Now, I don't know if I believe them because they could say it's not true and it'd be absolutely true.
No, Ted Williams is frozen too.
That's the rumor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard it debunked. No.
But the theory there is, though, they're not trying to bring them back to life. They're going to sell the DNA, right? When they have the technology to do it.
I don't know. 800 people have already signed up. They've already surpassed $160 million. This company's just
raking it in.
Tomorrow Bio is going to use the funds to expand into the U.S. with initial locations in New York, California, and Florida.
All right. Forrester says the Walt Disney thing's been debunked, that he is not on ice. There is no Disney on ice. Only at an arena near you.
What about Ted Williams?
He's going to look that one up, too. I think I remember the Ted Williams thing was like his family. It was a really big controversy, but his family was going to try to preserve his brain. Okay, so Scott gives us a thumbs up on that one. So he is actually cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, I can give you the state, Arizona. He's in Arizona.
You got to move it around, Jim. Can't let everybody know where his head is.
I'll never forget this. So I was doing this show with Scott Griffin when his head got frozen, or when they froze Ted Williams.
Not Griff's head.
And do you remember George Rivers, one of our producers?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, George brought us back to cold as ice with Farner.
Yep. What state? Arizona.
Wow.
Damn, Dunaway.
You know why?
Because you've already looked into it.
No, spring training. That's where he'd go for spring training. He wanted to be preserved there.
Dad always wanted to be in Arizona.
So when he comes back, he wants to get ready for the season.
I think the Red Sox used to train in Florida, so
it gets hot in Arizona. They got to work harder to keep that thing frozen.
And that was minus 198 degrees.
Go cold country.
Is that it?
That's it.
That is Trash Today. The show being brought to you by our friends Alexander Shannara. They bring us the Spotlight. No open today, but we're going to wrap up with our Spotlight brought to you by Shannara.
Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots, headquartered in Birmingham. For more than 24 years, they've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. Alexander Shannara's mission was a simple one: create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced. Of course, his community is Birmingham. So the firm now not only handles any personal injury claim, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara trial attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com. Shannara.com.
Spotlight today is simply this. Jackson Arnold. Is he the missing piece to the puzzle for Hugh Freeze at Auburn? Talk about that for me. Brandon Marcello asked the question at CBS Sports. Is he the missing piece?
I feel like this is going to be, I don't know. We've talked about it all offseason. I think I get painted as a Jackson Arnold hater, which is far from the truth. I am just not one of those that thinks everybody's like, oh, former Gatorade Player of the Year was so crappy for him at Oklahoma. It's just going to unlock at Auburn. That's all I've ever said is I don't know that there's a guarantee that it's just immediately going to unlock for him at Auburn. And I think I'm probably lower on the expectation curve for Jackson Arnold than both of you and for most of the people in the media.
I just think, the receivers led by Cam Coleman and Singleton are going to be so good. It's going to make him better. This is going to be, I don't know how good the offensive line is going to be, but I guarantee it's going to be better than Oklahoma's.
Okay.
I think
agree.
DJ Durkin will have this defense dialed in. So I think that takes a little pressure off of Jackson Arnold. I think Jackson's going to be really good. I really do.
Former 5-star recruit when he went to Oklahoma gets a comparison to Baker Mayfield.
Size-wise, I can see it.
Do you think that's just because he went to Oklahoma, though?
Baker went to Texas Tech first.
He did,
and
but
then
he
went to
Auburn,
Auburn.
Oklahoma.
Now he's gone to Oklahoma and to Auburn.
They've kind of got that Deca mustache where they get out at 12 to after wood shop
go,
to
go fix an engine.
Yeah.
You ask Hugh Freeze if he's got some Bo Wallace in him. Why Bo Wallace? Why did you pick Bo Wallace?
Because
real
Jackson
quick,
Arnold can move, and Bo Wallace could move. Bo Wallace was probably a 400 yard a year kind of guy. I think Jackson Arnold's got
Hugh Freeze's best quarterback at Ole Miss was Jack Elliott, right?
I don't know as far as wins and losses. I don't know. I think Bo was.
Do you view Bo Wallace or Jack Kelly?
I thought Bo played more like what Jackson Arnold played.
Okay, so you do the comparison.
That's why I thought he went with that comparison.
Let me ask you this:
coached a guy like this before.
If he had Bo's stats, do you think that's good enough for Auburn fans?
I'd have to go back and look at Bo Wallace's stats. What was that, 2014?
Yeah. But I think he's going to be able to move around a little bit. You heard Hugh talk about what a competitor he is. Auburn should be a sneaky good team this year. We'll see how full.
To your point, run-pass option is the RPO is very important for Hugh Freeze in his offense. And with those receivers, we never talk enough about their running game anymore. You're so good with Jarquez last year. How comfortable are you with Auburn's running attack going into the year?
That's a big piece. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jarquez is now in the NFL playing for the
I'm aware.
Los Angeles Rams, and they think they got an absolute steal with that kid.
I think so too, by the way.
It is funny, Dunaway, because, Auburn football used to be, we've talked about how many years it's been since a 1,000-yard wide receiver. Is it Ronnie Daniels? Back in the 90s?
99?
Yeah. And it used to be all about running the football and playing great defense, but I trust the vertical game more. I really do.
I'd forgotten Bo Wallace threw this many interceptions, first of all. Before I say, would you take Bo Wallace's numbers?
Damn, he did. Maybe that's why Hugh shied away from it.
Maybe he was like, what is Lance do that I don't?
It's 41 interceptions in his career.
62 touchdowns, 41 picks.
I don't think Nick Saban quarterbacks threw a combined 41 picks.
In 3 years, his touchdown interception was 22-17, 18-10, and 22-14.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, this is the same Bo Wallace that essentially, I think he tried to dial it back, but essentially went on social media and blamed Hugh Freeze's system for some of his failures, right? That happened last season. During the season, basically went on and blamed Hugh Freeze for a lot of these numbers right here.
He was defending Peyton Thorne, saying that Thorne was correct. He was being thrown under the bus, that it was the system, not the quarterback. Yes. And those numbers surprised me at 41 interceptions.
That's a ton.
How many Peyton Thorne throw in his 2 years at Auburn?
I know he threw 4 in one game.
Yeah.
Against Oklahoma, right? Oddly.
No, against Cal, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. It was against Cal. It was the pick six against Oklahoma. Peyton played 5 years and threw 43 interceptions.
Yeah.
But in his 2 years at Auburn, 19 total. He was 16-10, 21-9.
Yeah, so 41 total for Bo, 43 for Peyton Thorne.
Yeah. 3 years and 5 years. Though that first year, it's really 3 and 4.
You know,
now give me Jackson Arnold last year at Oklahoma.
You know, he's got a reputation of turning it over. It wasn't as bad, but you go back to that first bowl game he played, 2 years ago? I think he turned it over 4 times in that game. I think a fumble and 3 picks.
And this is going to be why they did not want you to bring it up.
Jackson Arnold, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, and very limited action. But last year, 12-3. I mean,
that's not bad at all with that offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, they only threw for 1,400 yards. It was just they couldn't throw the ball last year.
I remember watching them early. It might have been against Temple or Houston, and I mean, they were pressuring him. That offensive line was awful.
It was Temple. I remember watching the Temple game, thinking, "What? Hey, I thought this SEC Oklahoma team was going to be a lot better than this." I mean, they struggled against Temple, as I remember it. I remember watching that game, thinking, I think it was a Friday night, too. I think it was a Friday night.
It was.
And I was watching that thinking, boy, if this is the Oklahoma that's coming to the SEC, they are in for a long, long ride. They were, by the way.
The coverage of SEC Media Days continues tomorrow. Alabama will be here with Kalen DeBoer, and the Alabama players will have that on our platform. Thanks to our friends at Baptist Health again. Don't forget, all the audio versions available as well on Apple and Spotify. Set up the automatic downloads. That helps us, and it helps remind you of new content that's up from our great friends at Baptist Health.
That's right. It is a new day in healthcare in Alabama, as our friends at Baptist Health and Orlando Health have brought you that new day of healthcare through a partnership advancing and providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's missions to improve the health and the quality of life of individuals and communities where we live and the communities they serve. Baptist Health is Central Alabama's only private, not-for-profit, faith-based healthcare system. It is dedicated to providing high-quality, accessible care for the communities of Central Alabama.
Greg Sankey, first time I've seen him since his opening ceremony speech, the state of the conference he gave yesterday morning, and now he's making the rounds, doing some interviews up here. Biggest concern for Greg Sankey, Lance, you first right now.
Like if I'm Greg Sankey, what I'm concerned about?
Yeah, his biggest concern in his professional life as he walks around on a day in and day out basis doing his job. What do you think his biggest concern is?
I think there is a flex between the SEC and the Big Ten, and the Big Ten has won back-to-back championships. I think it's all about bringing championships back. And then, you know, you heard the Deloitte reference earlier from Hugh Freeze, and, you know, what this is going to bring August 1st with all these athletes. I don't think he's got a lot of concern.
I don't know what he'd be concerned about. By the way, on the show tomorrow, 10:30 to 11, he will be sitting right next to Lance right there, so we can ask him this, I guess. But I don't know what his answer would be. Like, if you ask him that question, what do you think he would say? What's your biggest concern right now, Greg, professionally?
I would say Greg would say there is none. But I would say in truthfulness, he's got to be concerned about people like Auburn, who are perceiving this one way, and other league teams that are perceiving the NIL rev share rules another way. You can hear the athletic director at Auburn saying, until we hear otherwise from the SEC, this is the way we think we're going to do it. So at some point, they're going to have to jump in. And
is that not damage control for this? We're doing a shitty job at recruiting right now.
But at some point, the SEC will have to give a wink and a nod or whatever to Auburn and say, hey, you need to do it this way. I do think, you know, that Greg and the SEC have planted their flag on this 5-11 college football playoff, and that'll be exciting at 16. I think this year we'll love the 12 now that we've got the seeding properly done, to where we are not going to have teams that are the 11th best team in the 12-team playoff getting a bye and being basically the 4 seed. I think we're going to really enjoy 12. We'll have to quickly turn around and go to 16 next year. And he changed mid-course, and you don't see a lot of leaders do that. He was he and the Big Ten were both for the 4 automatic qualifiers, and then midstream he flipped around and said 5-11. I want to know why he decided to go 5'11". I think he has said that his coaches were telling him, his coaches and athletic directors were more in favor of the 5'11".
I mean, I think, and I do think that's a concern of his, because you would have to say one probably benefits the overall conference more than the other, and he knows which one it is, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Why were we a 4 automatic qualifier belief to start with, and what made it switch to the 5'11"?
That's right. And again, one of those probably benefits the overall conference more than the other, but you're going to go with what your conference really wants to go with. Those can be competing thoughts. I think Greg Sankey would tell you, like most people involved in college athletics would tell you, he's concerned about the future of college athletics. Where does all this go? I think he is genuinely concerned about the fact that SEC schools are going to start having to dump sports. And when you're a conference commissioner, though you know in the SEC that football drives the bus, basketball gets towed behind it, and everything else is living off those two sports, he still goes to the SEC track and field and hands the trophy over, right? I mean, those are still student athletes that he's got some sort of responsibility to, and I think it's tough knowing that you're making decisions every day, and that Congress is making decisions every day, and lawyers are making decisions every day that are going to affect those people. And they're just out playing a sport. They know they're not going to get NIL money.
I wonder how much time he devotes to those other sports. It's almost like as a human, you've got to eat, right? But you only eat for, an hour combined all day long, and you've got all these other hours that you put into everything else in life. I think all those other hours are football and basketball.
Yeah. No, they are. But I mean, I think Greg Sankey knows that, but he genuinely, I think, cares about those athletes. They're part of his conference. And he knows that a lot of what's going on in college sports is going to result in those players losing scholarships and being gone and playing a club sport instead of an NCAA sport. But that's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I mean, you're going to see sports get cut.
So Greg Sankey slides in here tomorrow, and we look forward to our annual conversation with him. Sometimes it's scheduled for 30 and it goes 2 hours. So we'll see how much time Greg Sankey spends with us tomorrow. Have a feeling it'll be a hard 2025 because it's what do you like to call him?
Grumpy Greg.
Grumpy Greg.
He's scheduled for 30. We'll see if we get 30.
We'll talk to him about tyrannical Tony and Grumpy Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, is that your guy in the Big Ten?
Yeah,
tyrannical Tony now?
Those are the running mates.
So All-Star game here in town, and last night the big catcher from Seattle won the home run derby.
Chances you make the All-Star game tonight?
0. I have no invitation. I have no All-Star ticket, so I'm not going to.
But if you got like I asked Forrester, if you got handed the ticket, would you go?
I probably would not go. It would depend on who was going.
Yeah.
But I would probably not go.
Is it more you don't want to deal with the traffic?
I don't know. I just it's never been a bucket list thing. Last night was the thing I would have rather seen. I'd rather seen the home run derby.
I'd rather see the game. Again, I just want to see Scooble and Skeens.
I'd rather seen the home run derby myself. I didn't really think about going last night, though. It's not that important to me. But I'm like you. I've never, as a kid, sat around and thought, one day I'll be at an All-Star game.
He was talking about who was hitting the missiles? O'Neal Cruz? Yeah. He said they would have gone through somebody. And I said, were the kids out there still shagging? He said one kid, a 14-year-old, robbed somebody.
Oh, no.
Back to the wall, went over, and they gave the guy credit for the home run. You shouldn't give him credit if the kid can rob you.
A 14-year-old? No,
Did you see it, Dunaway?
I did not see it. Didn't make the highlights. I watched the championship round in a sports bar because my Buccaneer, the 21-year-old Junior Caminero, was in the finals. And he had 27 final pitches, had to hit 18 home runs to tie the big dumper, and came up, I think, 2 short, hit 16. And he was raking, but it's that's the one I would have gone to. The All-Star, the actual game, slow, a lot of substitutions. They're not the same. I thought we were getting the uniforms back.
Oh, are they doing the National and American?
Last night they had AL, NL uniforms on with your team patch on your sleeves, and I thought we did a story that we were getting the uniform.
I thought so too.
So you should be in your traditional uniform when you do this game.
Nick, who lives around here, said in the chat room, I looked when tickets went on sale, quickly closed the tab once I saw the cheapest price. I don't know what they're. Have you looked?
No, I haven't. My phone's over there. Pull up your phone. I think Ticketmaster is to get in.
I think you can get in for like $250.
To the All-Star game?
Yeah, for a baseball game, $250. for a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would go, but I wouldn't pay $250.
Yeah. I think the clay experience on the patio overlooking the stadium is a much better experience than actual going to the game.
Well, you'll be invited to that.
I don't think I will be, but
why not? Lance is the one organizing.
I do think that is a better experience than being in the game, because then you can.
But you still got to deal with the traffic.
You see the view of the stadium. You see the introduction of the players if you want to, and then after that, it's an all-star game. It's cheapest, like the NBA All-Star game.
Cheapest ticket I can find is $259, but that's SRO.
Wow.
I mean, you're paying $260 to stand.
Well, at least it's going to be cool tonight, right?
This is more than the home run derby, I assume, last night.
I did not look at the home run derby.
That would be a pretty tough ticket.
Yeah,
because I think they offered more standing room only for the home run derby.
So the All-Star game happening tonight. These guys will let you know some of their fun. All of us had a chance to go in a driverless car last night, and that was a blast. Kalen DeBoer swings by tomorrow. First question to Kalen DeBoer.
Do you play golf?
It'd be a funny question.
Do you happen to have a posted handicap?
Yeah. I
did tell Hugh Freeze.
Does he feel ownership of this program now? Like, there is no way he could have felt ownership last year. I know that sounds crazy when you're making the kind of money he's made, when he's played for a national championship, but walking those halls and walking into Bryant-Denny, there is just no way he could have felt really comfortable last year.
I think you're probably right. I don't know if he would say that, but I don't think there's any doubt that was the case. Like, you weren't replacing a coach everybody was happy to get rid of. You were replacing a coach nobody wanted.
You know what? It's almost
nobody.
It's almost like in a band, like when David Lee Roth got replaced by Sammy Hagar. Like, that's just got to be an uncomfortable situation when you come into it, although Sammy Hagar was established. But when you come into an iconic band with an iconic frontman like David Lee Roth, it's got to be a tough transition.
Well, I mean, in a much, 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 much lesser example of this, for a minute, we filled Feinbaum's slot on jocks. And we knew very quickly, Paul told us it was going to be short-lived, that he was coming back. We got a nice little raise out of it, but I never felt like it was our show. I felt like we just kept doing our show that we had done 10 to noon or 10 to 2 at the time that was immensely popular. We just did that in the afternoon, but everybody was used to one thing in the afternoon, right? They wanted Paul taking calls of Tammy and Jim and people like that yelling at each other, and we weren't going to do that. That's not what we do. So I can, in a much, 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 much lesser level, we can all kind of see what Kalen DeBoer was, right? I mean, he walked into a program that had done one thing away for a very long time and had been ultra successful doing it. It's kind of hard sometimes to go in and change everything and do it your way. I think in year 2, maybe you change half of it year 1, you change the other half in year 2, and then it does become your ownership. I think that's a legitimate question. I really do.
That's what I'm going to.
You're going to fire early with that one?
Yes.
Final thought is our picture of the day. You can see it at Next Round Live at Next Round Live, brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health today. It is a tight shot of Hugh Freeze sitting down with us this morning with his new Nikes on, because Nike is the new gear provider, merchandise folks there at Auburn. So Nike shoes on. What kind of socks did he have on, Brown?
FootJoy socks. FootJoy golf socks.
Did he really?
100%. It's so funny. I mean,
he bent over and a tee fell out of his pocket.
I mean, yeah, like I guarantee you suffer this same thing. Anytime I put on shorts I play golf in, there's always dirt in the pockets.
Sand
or dirt or whatever, and the washer doesn't get it out.
Yeah.
That would have been funny if you had that in his suit pockets today. No, he's sitting down, a little T got a shot of the Nike shoes. She sent it out on social media, and the one thing everybody noticed, FootJoy socks.
Yeah. FootJoy, big golf brand.
But does he have that tan line? Like, I guarantee you guys have got terrible. Awful. Yeah, see, I'm at the pool all the time, so I really don't have that tan. Well, I've got a tan line now, right? Look at that.
Yeah, I know. Look at the difference.
Yeah, by the way, if you're asking.
Yeah. Spray tan versus no spray tan.
Yeah. All right, that is the show today. Day 2, day 3 coming up tomorrow from SEC Media Days. It'll be Alabama Day. That always brings a certain buzz with it. After today, Texas and Georgia and Tennessee and the Auburn Tigers. Tomorrow, get a little Bama, get a little Florida Gator in here, and we'll sort of get ready closer to teeing it up. We're back with you tomorrow. Don't forget the coverage continues on all our social media platforms at Next Round Live. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.